Man,
All right. So who should intro?
Whoever's got the best idea for a bit.
Okay.
I think I got something. Okay. So you know the show that we watched this week? I had that bit where before they say the name of the show, it goes to the title card.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if we do that?
I don't know.
So you mean like so I say, welcome to the blah 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 blah, and then
Yeah.
Okay. So how would that? So it'd be welcome to the 234th episode of the Fiction Podcast. Oh, I did it wrong.
Brandon! No! Play it!
Anyway.
5 times.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so welcome to episode 234 of the... I think I played that off really well.
I like that Ben just casually took credit for the idea.
Well, no one else was doing it. Ryan was doing his whole nose goes thing, so I figured, all right, screw it, I'll lead him in.
Listen, It's as flawless as all our other intros.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true. Anyway,
Just as clean, just as perfect.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here. Like I said, it's 234. We're talking about Invincible, the new. That's upside down.
I know it is.
I'm joking. The new Amazon animated TV series based off the comic book. We are here to compare the first 3 episodes of the show to its comic book counterpart, written by Robert Kirkman. So, hi guys.
Hello.
Really quickly, I guess I should introduce us before I forget. Hi, Ben Magnet.
Hey, how's it going, Brandon T. McClure?
It's good. Oh, thank you for introducing me because I forgot to introduce myself. And Sparks Witty.
Hi there.
And Ryan Iliopoulos.
That's me. I'm here every day.
Rexplode himself.
Hey, it's me. Jason Mantzoukas he's Greek, so I'll take it. I'm Greek too. There you go.
You're a much cooler person than Rexplode.
Thank you.
Yeah,
he does get to... Never mind. We'll go there later.
We have links in the description. We actually have a lot of links in the description below. So
how many, Brandon?
Let's see if I can remember them all.
9.
I'll just say I have an article in the description about some big news that we're going to talk about later today, later in this episode. The Marvel news where they severed ties from Diamond. I wrote a bit about that. That's on our website and it's linked below. Ryan, you have a downright annoyed.
Oh, I sure did. I did that a couple hours ago. We talked about a movie that I got to pick called The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. And that's just an excellent South Korean spaghetti western live action anime movie. It's not based off anime, but it sure feels like it. I'm sure we'll talk about that in our weekly stuff. Yeah, that was great. That was a lot of fun.
I saw you putting some clips on your Instagram. It looked really interesting.
It's a banger. 10 out of 10. We'll watch again.
And I think that's the only thing we have personally. So other than that, we got stuff around the network of the Fichtner Podcast. As I said, I've launched my newest show, Conversation. I'm sure you've seen all the Instagram posts and all the Twitters and all the whatevers. I've been talking for weeks. Conversation is here. The first 2 episodes are out, where I talk to Phil Better of the Invest in Yourself podcast and Stephen White of the Super Mega Crash Bros Turbo podcast. So you can check those out, varying lengths. Those are links below. And don't forget
cool names for a podcast, Super Mega Crash Turbo, because I listened to that on the way home for work one day.
Oh, good. His podcast, right? Not Conversation.
No, yours. Conversation.
What the hell? You should have listened to his podcast. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. I appreciate it. And we have Fake Nerds Watch, Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 1. We did just record episode 2, so that'll come out this week. But episode 1 is linked below. We have a Fake Nerd Book Club audio for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 1. That's in the description below. Slowly catching up there. And is that it? I think that's it.
Did you put my new article from OSG on there?
Nope. Oops. I'm so sorry.
What's up, Ben? Tell us about it.
No, I wrote another article. Actually, when I write, because when these go out early in the week, I gotta remind Brandon to send him the link.
You really should.
I'm sorry. That's my fault.
No, it's my fault. I should have remembered.
No, I wrote another article for oldschoolgamermagazine.com. It's all about modding consoles. And when I woke up I didn't wake up this morning. I woke up this afternoon. Who am I kidding? I woke up to a email because on the website we get notifications and emails whenever someone comments on our posts. So we have to approve it whether or not it's to be seen on the website by anyone else visiting, or if it's like really mean, we can say nope, scrub it, and not let that person post. This guy was very kind in the way that he said that he wants more articles like mine, or like the subject matter of mine, which is modding your classic consoles, to be featured in the magazine. And I'm like, something I wrote a reader wants to see in the print magazine, which made me happy. I was like,
Nice.
good job. I don't know. It felt good. I don't know if the editors are going to see that comment, but it's like, thanks, guy. Thank you, person. That made my day.
You know what I was just thinking about?
No.
I'm gonna make that joke work in the audio.
You're gonna cut it?
Yeah.
Listen. You're saying that here. I just want you to know, if you're listening to this, audio listeners, we have the truth. Go to YouTube.
Our audio episodes are often shorter by like minutes.
Oh yeah, because of the editing. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all. I've been talking too long, so somebody go first with their week.
Not at all. But I'll go. Sure. I'm gonna start with maybe my favorite thing that I did this week, and I also did it with him. We started watching Superman and Lois.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Henry Cavill, he's great, fantastic. He has not been given the due as Superman. So for me, this version of Superman is my favorite live action Superman, and at least since 2006 with Brandon Routh. The opening montage is the most Superman live action thing has been since like the Christopher Reeve. Like it is so good at making you like. It's just so Superman, and it's everything I wanted from a Superman show, and the budget is there, and it doesn't look like no offense to the CW shows, it doesn't look like a cheap CW show. Like, it's got a budget, and it looks more like Black Lightning and season 1 of Supergirl.
They're filming it more dynamically.
Yeah, where it's like, they're actually giving it like a visual style, and like the writing's a little crisper, and like the special effects are really good. Tyler Hoechlin is so good as Superman, and the thing that he has John in the comics, right? But John is younger. The thing that I never thought I wanted to see Superman deal with is angsty teenagers. And the way that you see Superman like crying the same way that he's like, this dude could punch a meteor, but he's like breaking down because he can't connect with his son. That shit is eating me up. Oh my God, it's so good.
On the note of that, just because I want to give it the praise, like we say angsty teenagers, but really only one of them is angsty.
Yeah.
And he's angsty with like purpose rather than just like, I'm a teen and I have issues.
Yeah.
He has
social, like he has
anxiety disorders. And like that's actually a developed part of his character.
Yeah.
And so it's like he already feels out of place, and then he's the one of the two brothers who starts developing powers, which makes him even more out of place.
It's like, of course, like if you know like the comics, like he has one son, he has two sons in this show, and at first it seems weird, but there's actually a really awesome story reason by one, like it's Jonathan and Jordan. And I'm just gonna spoil it here. Jordan is named after Jor-El, and that's incredible. And like there's such a good scene between them, like in like the Fortress of Salt.
Oh, he named his kids after both of his dads. That's so cool.
I am so impressed with the show. And it's definitely my favorite pilot of any of the CW shows. I think it is so strong. I think the character work is so strong.
How you pronounce? Is it Jordan or Joran?
Jordan.
Okay, I don't know, because I thought I heard Jordan, but it's like named after Jor-El. Is like Jor.
Yeah, Jor.
All right.
Yeah.
Jor.
And kind of put a spotlight on a character from the Superman mythos who doesn't get a ton of attention. Probably the best iteration of Sam Lane I've seen in forever.
Oh, General Lane. Yeah. Oh my God. He's part of the military, but he's also
but he's also grandpa.
He's also grandpa. So like he cares as much about like the Superman and Lois dynamic, and he has such a good line of like, Clark, like you don't see what Lois, like when you're out saving the world, you think Lois is so strong, but like you're not here like I am. You don't see what they go through. That like being with Superman, what that does to them. And like he also
has a great line to Lois where he says, "You fell in love with Clark, but you married Superman."
Yeah. Very much the stuff that we're seeing in Invincible, which we'll talk about later. The balance of being human and superhuman. The show handles it so well, and I'm so glad to be watching the show. I think it's fantastic. I think you guys are gonna love it when you watch it. I'm so glad to be watching it. That is a hell of a good time. I spent a lot of time thinking about Snyder Cut because I saw it last week and I think it's pretty good. And I watched a lot of YouTube reviews of people who don't like Zack Snyder movies talking about how much they like Justice League. And I'm just like, it is such an interesting world we're living in right now. I just think it's wild.
We live in a post-Snyder Cut world.
We live in a post-Snyder Cut world where generally people like it, and the people who wanted it are mad. It's a weird thing. All that Snyder Cut stuff still sucks, though. I hate all those people who are doing that nonsense. I read a lot of Marvel comics, and none of them came out in the last couple months. That pool is slowly growing, but I opened up Marvel Unlimited, and I'm like, 30,000 comics. I don't have to worry about continuity. Sure, I'll just pick up some. So I got heavy back into Captain America from the 80s. I started reading it a couple months ago, and I stopped literally at the point when the John Walker stuff started happening. So funny enough, Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. So I'm like, I'm gonna jump back into that. And I read like 25 issues in the last couple of days. That stuff's incredible, you guys. Not only is it really good, and John Walker is a really cool villain. America loves him, and again, we talked about it off screen, Brandon, that the stuff that's happening in the 80s is also still happening now. And it's like comics are always reflecting on the bullshit of the world, and it's so sad that nothing has changed. Yeah. And it's really funny that the comics are always there to reflect that. All the stuff happening in Falcon and Winter Soldier and all the stuff happening in WandaVision is all happening around the same time in 1985 within these two different comic books, West Coast Avengers and the Captain America book. It's so wild to see John Walker step from the pages of Captain America into West Coast Avengers when Wanda's dealing with a dead Vision. Like, all this stuff is happening at once, and it's so weird that the Phase 4 is 1985. It's a weird coincidence, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to continue to read Captain America. He's dealing with the Serpent Society right now. They're going on an Indiana Jones quest. It's so cool. It's great. I started to read Armor Wars from the Iron Man event that's getting turned into a miniseries. Guys, that book is also really cool. And spoilers, it's probably not my next book club. Scott Lang's in it. Justin Hammer's in it. A whole bunch of people show up. Tony Stark is looking slick and fly. It's the best Tony Stark he's ever looked. Rhodey's in it so much. He's so cool. The 80s was just like, I was looking at the time period of Marvel comics. Not so much DC, but the ebb and flow of good comics, right? The 80s were so hot, and then Marvel went bankrupt in the 90s, and then the 2000s, they rose up and were great. And then the 2010s, like, Marvel now had hit or misses, and now they're back getting good stuff. And I'm just like, it's always an ebb and flow. It's always up or down. I just think comics are funny. Waves are funny. I love comics.
What's nice about that is if you read both comic book companies, they never are strong at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you're like, hey, Marvel's not doing it for me, DC is though. Oh, DC's not doing it for me, Marvel is though.
Yeah, sometimes, and then sometimes I have like a perfect synergy of like, well, they're doing great shit at the same time, and then sometimes they're both doing really bad shit. I just think it's really funny, and again, like, going from like Captain America 236 to West Coast Avengers 45, I'm going from Falcon Winter Soldier into WandaVision, and I just think it's just really weird synergy. And I just had a great time reading old comics this week.
That's awesome.
I think that's mostly what I did, and I probably maybe did video game stuff. I don't know. That's me, baby.
Sparks, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'll carry it on. Yeah. So Superman and Lois, checkity check. Really enjoying it. Around Superman and Lois, I also have been steadily catching up on where I'm behind on the CW DC stuff right now. So that's a lot of Batwoman, because Batwoman came back earlier than a lot of things. And that show is all right. There's some cool stuff and there's some not great stuff, and that's just how it's going. I think they're ruining their villain from last season, Alice, and that's okay. Aww, yeah, because like they need to make her more likable now because Kate's not around, and like she has been right. But like everything that was the point of following her as a villain was for her dynamic with Kate, and now that Kate isn't on the show, her mission has become to find Kate because she doesn't believe that Kate is dead. But that means that you have to follow her, so you have to kind of enjoy following her in a way that isn't just watching this villain do things.
Yeah.
So they're like kind of shifting and giving her this whole backstory that we didn't know about before. That's like filling in the gap between the backstory we did know in modern day. That like you kind of don't see how it could have existed before, but here it is.
Retcons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so doing that. Flash is right around the corner, so I'll be catching up on that. Still catching up on Black Lightning. Night and day difference, guys. Like, I don't even feel like I'm watching a CW show when I watch Black Lightning. It's a very similar experience to watching Superman and Lois. You guys watched some of Black Lightning in its first season.
Yeah.
That show continues to just have like an energy to it that is just not the same. Mm-hmm. It clearly thought about in different ways. It's crazy. Still watching Gilmore Girls. I'm on the last season of the original run. Season 6 is the worst season. 100%. Characters are stupid.
Oh,
Characters are still pretty stupid. That show tanked hard in its last years, clearly, threw a lot of character development out the window. But I'm getting through. There's still nice things, but I will not say it's not a slog right now.
it's getting rocky.
Yeah, it was. Finishing season 6 was a slog. Season 7 has started to uptick a little bit, but season 6 was a slog.
I forgot something I did real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I was knee deep in Justice League nonsense. I watched, because of HBO Max, I watched 2 episodes of Superman the Animated Series, the 2-part episode Apocalypse Now, but Apocalypse referencing Darkseid. Orion is so cool, you guys. Please get Orion in the DC universe. He's got a stupid chair thing he flies in on. I love it. Sorry, that's it.
No, it's cool. Dr. Stone, watch some more Dr. Stone. I can't praise that anime enough. It might be the best shonen form anime on television right now that isn't My Hero Academia. I highly sing its praises. I really hope at least one person in particular starts watching it.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, no, yeah. Super great. Really enjoying it. Quality, top notch. Fortnite is cool.
It is.
We got another person, Pi, friend of the podcast, Pi,
Pi's
has
in it?
now joined Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
We're just roping people in at this point. That game is cool. That game is cool.
Join us.
Eh.
Alan Grant.
But
Dr.
you know what?
Grant shows
But
up.
you know what? Brandon and I did a bunch. We did a bunch of Fall Guys because Fall Guys season 4 came out this week, and this is the best season of Fall Guys ever.
Ooh.
It's neon colors for a lot of the maps. It's futuristic setting. They've introduced squad shows. Squad shows are where you and 3 other people, you're all on a team and you win or lose together.
Okay.
Having a great
honestly
time.
made all the difference for me.
Yeah, having a great time with it. Brandon, do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of sci-fi, and like I said, the squad shows thing is the highlight for me because like now I'm like super invested in my friends doing well in the matches. We're all trying together, and I think it just brings a whole new energy to the game that wasn't present before, and I think that really helps a lot.
I agree. It's a nice variation.
That
It keeps it from feeling as stagnant. Like I like playing Fall Guys, but certainly after a while, unless you've got new friends coming on to inject new energy into it and watch them play or play with you, it gets stagnant after a while. But the squad shows, especially when you have a full team of 4, like y'all can team coordinate your skins, and you go in and you're like, we're all the Krampuses, and we're gonna dominate, and beat the crocodiles and stuff like that.
That might get me back in.
It's a good time.
I got kind of tired of that game a little bit.
We both got the new Godzilla skin, the Burning Godzilla skin.
Burning Godzilla skin came out this week. There's Among Us skins now. You dropped off so long ago at this point. There's so much new material. I think that you would feel a lot of refreshment coming to it at this point.
Oh, I believe it.
I don't know how long it would keep you around, but it certainly would hook you for a bit.
I do like the aesthetic of season 4. I love like the black, the neon. It kind of feels like you're stepping into a real 80s retro arcade with all the black lights and the neon, and it's like part 80s arcade, part synth music, and also part laser tag arena.
Yeah, I agree. It's my favorite thing they've done in Fall Guys so far.
Yeah, it is colorful
for sure.
Yeah.
We all watched a cartoon. There's a voice on there, Jason Mantzoukas. He's also a voice on Close Enough, which is another cartoon that I watched some episodes of this week. Close Enough still continues to be great. I think the season so far is actually, for the most part, stronger than the first season, but I like both. Love that show. You and I watched the South Park vaccination special.
Oh, right.
The latest South Park.
Oh,
Ventures.
you guys saw that too?
Like a year ago.
Boy. Let's just sticking it to the moment. That's South Park.
They still know how to just ruffle jimmies. Is that the phrase? Ruffle everybody's jimmies, no matter whose side you're on. I haven't watched South Park in a long time. I was a huge fan, and then I got older, and it's not like I dislike it. I just stopped watching it. But I watched the pandemic special with you last year, and now enough time has passed as a vaccination special, and I'm like, they still got it. Like they're still really funny. They're still like insanely provocative and like makes people mad on purpose. But like they do that really well.
So Brandon, the bit from that because I don't expect you to watch it, but part of it I think you'd really like is they do a gag throughout where all the old people are getting vaccinated before everyone else, and everyone else wants to get vaccinated. So the old people run the town while everyone else has to stay inside. So they'll just be out doing wheelies in vehicles.
They're doing donuts and stuff.
doing donuts and stuff. And they're like, darn old people, stop having fun. And then when everyone gets vaccinated at the end, they're like, all right, they send them all back to their retirement home. The world is ours again. Get out of here.
It's a good gag.
All the fun stuff, places are ours again. Go back to retirement. They're like, oh. No, I freaking love the bit in the vaccination special. It's the very beginning of the episode where Mr. Mackey and the woodshop teacher are trying to go get vaccinated, and they're go in front of a Walgreens, and there's a line outside the door, and there's a bouncer, and you can hear club music coming from inside the Walgreens.
Walgreens is the hottest exclusive place. No one can get in unless you're on the list.
Yep, and of course the old lady comes in, and they're like, oh, and she goes, 79 bitches, and flips them all off.
Yeah, it's surprising literally after like 20 years, like, yeah, they're still funny. Yeah, they still got it.
Yeah. I also watched The Good and the Bad and the Weird with Ryan.
That's me.
That's an awesome film. Loved it.
I'm glad.
Gonna buy it. Loved it.
You know what's funny is I own that movie, but if you open up my disc case, it's empty, so I don't own it anymore.
Where'd it go?
Who knows, Brandon? I bought that thing like 10 years ago. That thing could have been missing for literally 10 years. Who knows?
It fell in the void. That's what happened. It fell into the void, never to be seen again.
It's probably like in my old PlayStation 2. That's in a dumpster somewhere.
I absolutely recommend it. There are some awesome stars you've seen in other Korean films in it. One in particular who is in a bit role in this one is going to be our own Hercules in Eternals.
He's going to be Gilgamesh.
Yeah, he's a much larger role in Train to Busan, but this was years before that, and so he's almost unrecognizable. But I caught it, and I was like, oh, it's him. Yeah, good shit, guys. Good shit. Some of the coolest visuals to soundtrack, and probably one of the longest form horse chases I've ever seen across the desert.
I can't even imagine like filming that scene. Yeah,
I love a good horse chase so much.
You would like this movie. Let me tell you right now, Brandon. Even the horse chase aside, you would like this movie.
I've got a lot of movies I'm going to watch this week and putting it on my list.
The main character is the dad from The Host.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Also, Parasite.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. We had a discussion about it. It's a great discussion. You can watch that episode later this week, starting tomorrow. I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters.
That's a movie.
This is the first time I watched it since theaters. I am much more positive on that movie right now.
Good.
I think that the story is better than I was willing to see when I saw it. I think maybe expectations got in the way. I don't know. Maybe I just got too focused on the visuals and didn't think about it. But the story is actually hits just right, especially for people who are fans of just the Godzilla mythos that it's playing with. I forgot how many pulls to like the old stuff it's really doing. And the story's actually solid and it works. And it's both the right amount of weird and the right amount of grounded. I like the story. The characters, there's still plenty of characterization that's underdeveloped. And I think that really, it's not even so much that there's too many underdeveloped characters, but there's just too many characters, too many main characters, too many B level characters that we're keeping track of. And I'm like, we could lose this person and develop more one other person. And I think that like, even though I like everyone in that cast, this was the first time that I was noticing, because I'd never watched 2014 so close. Mm-hmm. That the admiral from the ship who's working with Serizawa in the first one is back so frequently in King of the Monsters.
Shared universe.
I'd never made that connection before. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice to have that dude. The soldier who's constantly with Ice Cube's son is the young man from Hamilton who plays Hamilton's son in the Broadway musical, and never caught that one before either.
In the Heights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great cast. I just don't think we need all of them.
Yeah.
But it hit better for me this time. And it didn't hurt that I was watching it in beautiful 4K on my PS5. But I was happier overall. Just positive experience.
So what's
I'm
next in your
about
marathon?
No, that's it.
No, there's got to be one more, right?
No, that's it.
We have to watch another movie at the same day because we've done this 3 weeks in a row now.
I mean, we'll watch Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, you're right.
But this was a marathon to get to that. So, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I got to play some more of it. That's a great game.
Yeah, it is.
I can't, same stuff I said last week. That's a great game. I'm taking notes. We'll do a conversation someday.
Cool.
Lastly, I want to talk about. I read Alien.
Oh.
And I did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
From Marvel Comics this week. First off, the art is bad. The art from Salvador Larroca is really phoned in throughout this one. Everything everyone's saying about the aliens is so true. There's just no dynamic energy to any of the paneling that involves them, and they're in it very little in this first issue, to be frank, which isn't a problem, but the fact that when they're there they don't look good is all the more like you only had to show them like 3 times and they don't look great. And then the people look really plasticky in a weird way. The story is hard for me to invest in or care about at this moment. I don't like the main character off the bat that we're following, and that's not a good start. So there it is. Yeah. Sorry, don't want to end on a downer, but that's it. I don't think I'll be following Alien for a while. Maybe at a later date if I hear some good stuff.
Predator coming out.
Oh,
May.
so we've talked about a little bit that there's this imagery of this queen of some sort who's much more humanoid, something we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That's still completely unclear. Nobody knows what that is.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's all from. Did you read it, Brandon? Do you want to say anything about it?
I did. I'll say it when I talk about my week.
Oh, okay.
Well, why don't you go next? Because he's done.
All right. Okay, so let me start with Alien then, because I also read Alien. I'm actually going to go backwards because I did 2 things that Sparks did this week.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did read Alien. Completely agree with everything Sparks said. The art is a huge problem in the book, and the writing is fine enough that I said I'd give it a second issue.
You know what's so hard is it's just I'm thinking back to like the Alien comics I've done some reading of on my own, and like when we did the book club, and I'm like, this just isn't even close
Up to par.
Yeah,
this just isn't even close to that level of compelling in art and in story, and I'm like, you're not selling me, and you had to make this one big.
Yeah, this was kind of the one that, because this would be the first Alien ongoing they've had in a very long time. I actually don't know if Dark Horse did ongoings. I think they just did a bunch of minis.
I don't. Yeah, at least for a while.
I think with Alien that's true. I think Predator had a brief ongoing, but I'm pretty sure Alien only ever had single series.
Yeah.
And I didn't read a lot of that Dark Horse stuff, so I can't say for sure. But that's what I think from a cursory glance.
Which honestly makes sense because you can't drag Xenomorph stuff out for months. Like it will get old.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've talked about it when we talked about the Predator films, I believe. When we said like the Predator mythos is far more interesting than the Xenomorph mythos.
100%.
There's more to chew on there.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm more excited for the new Predator.
Same. Also, again, because like at the end of the day, the Xenomorph, it's just like an animal. It's just a really angry animal. It's not a humanoid. Well, it's humanoid, but it's not a person with like a personality. And like the Predator is like a person, and it's just like an evil dog with acid. Like, you know,
an evil dog with acid. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to touch it or anything.
I picked it up. I picked up actually 3 variants with it too. I posted them on Instagram. The gorgeous variants.
Yeah, some of those variants were really great.
Yeah. And then I read the issue, and like I said, like the photoshopping of the toys, the plastic men, really just detracts so much from that book.
Making the main character look like yourself as the artist.
Yeah.
So in reference, because the last book he did was Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And you would agree Doctor Doom does not look this bad, right?
No, it doesn't.
And it's a thing where Salvador Roca, he's been a comic artist for 25 years. He's maybe the master of deadlines. And unfortunately, for a lot of comics, if you're good at deadlines, that supersedes you being good at art. Yeah. And sometimes he's really good, like on Doctor Doom, and then sometimes like, again, it's Alien #1 though. Like, how do you rush this one?
That's kind of my thing, is that I'm like, I could understand this at like Alien 8 or 10, but this is Alien #1. This should have been. This is what you're trying to sell me on. This is what you're trying to hook a reader in for a while on, and I found it severely lacking for a #1.
I don't mind like the storytelling aspect of keeping the aliens at bay. It does place it in a very interesting place in canon because it's after Alien 3. Like a couple years after Alien 3, and so before
canon? Like Ripley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They reference there's a bit where it's like, in this year we did this and it's Alien, and this year we did this, it's Aliens, and then this year we did this, it's Alien 3.
Gotcha.
And so go ahead, Sparks.
I was just gonna say that like they go to Earth, and Earth is just underwhelming.
Is it just Earth?
Yeah, it's just Earth. There's nothing particularly. Like, you don't go many places, but it's like there's nothing to indicate any particular kind of decision about setting or anything. If anything, Earth seems too stable. I'll tell you this: like the main character, he has a therapist that is Bishop up in space, and he gets sent home to Earth. And on Earth, they upload the memories of that Bishop into another Bishop. So that's how well things are going there. That it's just like, go into this therapy office. It's just like it looks like the same kind of therapy office I'd walk into today.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like the future that it's supposed to.
So having it set after Alien 3, look, I don't mean to pull canon on you, but we just watched all 6 of those films. In Alien Resurrection, it's pretty clear that Ripley wiped out the race.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why they went back to 3.
Well, so said it before 2. There's 50 years there.
That's the dream, right? Like, just but I mean, man. Yeah, why do 3 and not just like who knows? Well, weird Disney decisions.
I mean, I always assume that the assumption is that there's just more xenomorphs on another planet.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, but like tying it so close to the movies because there is that line of dialogue in Alien Resurrection does create a continuity issue. So then don't set it close to the movies. Like, do something else. Do something like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But they just kind of wanted to set it in canon. I don't understand that decision.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Maybe they're hoping for another Star Wars. I don't know.
Oh God, no way.
It's just really sad for a launch like this.
Yeah.
Something that's supposed to be like the new Alien coming from Marvel Comics. This is the #1. Like, this should be the thing that like gets you hype. And I'm like, I barely care.
We watched all the movies for it.
Yeah,
we did.
So I'm excited for Predator though. That has been far more interested. Anyway. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have even picked up Alien if we didn't just go through all the movies.
I'm in the same boat as you, man.
Because I wasn't actually that interested in it, but like I was like, you know what? I did just go through the movies.
I'll tell you right now, I would have picked it up because it's a #1.
Yeah,
and like it's got a nice cover, so I probably would have picked it up either way. But I probably wouldn't have read it this week. But I was like, I'm in the Alien mode, so let me see if this was worth it. And sadly, right now I don't feel like it was.
Yeah. Moving off that.
Well, just hearing you guys talk about it makes me like, cool. I'm going to be saving some money next time I walk in my comic book store.
Yeah.
Yes, $5. Okay, so the other thing I did that Sparks also did is that the same day I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Also, because I'm going through all the movies leading into Godzilla vs. Kong. It's still my 3rd favorite of the franchise. I still put Kong Skull Island and Godzilla of 2014 above it. But I did have a much better time with it this time around. I'd seen it a few times since theaters. Honestly, though, at the end of the day, I really don't know how I feel about the movie. It's not even that I think it's like middle of the road fine. It's just there are times where I'm like really into it, and there are times where like I think about it and I'm like, and I don't know why. I've watched it a few times. I should have an opinion, but at the end of the day, I really just don't.
It's it's funny because I think I've only seen it the once and I didn't particularly care for it. Because like Godzilla 2014, like for me, there wasn't enough Godzilla and I didn't like the human. So then I go to this one and there's so much more Godzilla and there's so many more humans you think I'd like, but I still don't like any of the humans. But I like the Godzilla stuff. And it's like
But see, I don't really like the Godzilla stuff all that much because of all the CGI smoke and and fire and storms and things. It feels really cluttered to me, like it's not. To me, it's not well framed, so it's hard for me to care about it.
For me, I guess I'm just trying to figure out why is Skull Island so effing good and the other two
Skull Island is really good.
I'm trying to figure out in my brain because I have two Godzilla movies that are doing two different things, and I don't really like either of them. But Skull Island is like a sweet middle, and I just don't know why.
As far as King of the Monsters, like something that I would say is I found way more of the human characters likable this time. Like I like Millie Bobby Brown's character.
Sure.
I like Bradley Whitford's character.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bradley Whitford's character.
I think we could have traded out Thomas Middleditch entirely and kept Bradley Whitford.
Yeah.
I think that they're both serving similar purposes, and Bradley Whitford is the superior.
What about
one.
Kyle Chandler playing the great grandson of the same character from me that he played in King Kong?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, he's in that movie.
I just Kyle Chandler actually really worked for me as a grounding basis, especially like maybe I was just like hooking into every little detail of it more this time.
Yeah.
But the notion of him like being the character who turns around from Godzilla should be killed all the way to Godzilla, we should help Godzilla because Godzilla's gonna protect us kind of thing was really nice. Especially, so here's the key thing I think that really sold me on King of the Monsters this time. Serizawa's arc has never been so clear to me before as it was this time. And I'm talking comic to 2014 to this movie is a 3-part story with Serizawa, with him in the Watch, with his history with all of this, all the way up to the moment when he, in a poetic reversal of the original film, is there with Godzilla to revive him rather than kill him. And I'm like, that alone kind of sells me. Like Serizawa's a really solid character through this. And I like his representation, and I like how that thematically crosses over.
Give me the Serizawa cut and cut half the characters in 30 minutes from the movie, and I might like it.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. There's things that I really like about the movie. Like I love the Rodan chase sequence. That hits all of my buttons. The music is great. It's a cool air chase. And Bradley Whitford's just yelling nonsense that makes no sense. And you're like, yeah, let's go.
Like Rodan flapping his wings and like leveling cities is like just objectively really cool. Like I just don't know how you don't think that's cool. I think that's wild. I think that all the monster stuff. Like I do agree they do object a lot of it, like the smoke and mirrors and stuff. But like there's no movie like it that has like this much monster fighting. And for that, like I do give it credit, but like there's so many characters, and when you have that many, not all of them get developed, and like it's just hard for me to care about one when you're trying to do so much stuff.
The other thing I wanted to say real quickly, sorry Sparks, is that I really love the mythology it builds in that movie. I think that's a strength that film has, building off of 2014, really just like fleshing out the mythology of the Titans.
The monarch being named after Mothra is still one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Like the fact that was there, and I was always like, they picked Monarch for a reason. Mm-hmm. And the way they pay that off with the history of the twins generationally, I'm like, it's too small in the movie. I wish the twins were more front and center. That's probably one of my biggest things, is I wish that the twins were a more front and center element, because they have the cultural touchstone tied to Mothra, to her history, to the history of the Titans. All of the good information about them comes out of the voice of one of the sisters. Yeah, and I wish that was more in there. It's also really nice. I like it every time, but the having Brooks, the older version of Brooks, there from Kong Skull Island is nice.
Oh, you mean Joe Morton?
Yeah.
From Terminator 2 and Justice League?
Yeah.
I've seen that guy showed up so much recently. It's like, man, that guy's acting.
It's just nice, like, when you're really steeped in it and you're watching them all reading the comics back to back, and you're like, yeah, good job.
That is cool. Yeah,
it's I will say, like, I was thinking this while I was watching it, and maybe this is a longer discussion I'll have when we watch Godzilla vs. Kong next week, but I think that so far the MonsterVerse is very, very good at yes and, which is something that like the most recent Star Wars trilogy is something that I constantly will say they're very, very bad at. But like, you get the different directors in, and they're all just like, right, take this, and here we go, and we're gonna build it all, and we're gonna build this whole foundation and everything in the MonsterVerse, and I think they all do a great job of taking the bare bones from the previous film and just laying out more.
One thing, we haven't talked about the villains of the movie, and I think that's apt because I don't think they're very good. As much as I love Tywin Lannister, even he can't save a movie. Man, those rumors are getting hotter, and I don't know if it's because people have seen the movie, but people still think he's Tom Hiddleston gone bad as an adult, as an old man.
A different name.
You could fake a name. I don't know.
I feel like they would have told us in King of the Monsters that were the case.
I feel like Godzilla Kong is going to make because I do agree with the big mythology stuff. I want the movies to still get weirder. Like they're not. I don't think they're going to do aliens, but like him being like
Ghidorah's an alien.
Oh, sorry, but I meant like UFOs, like people like.
Yeah,
that.
I know. I want to.
That's what I mean. So that's what I mean. Like that's like Ghidorah being like from space. That he's still a monster. Godzilla and him are basically the same thing in my case. You know what I mean?
I mean, Ghidorah's from space. I was hoping for Space Godzilla.
Not for the first movie.
No, not the first movie, but like something or leading to Space Godzilla.
There's so many pieces that gotta fit before you get to Space Godzilla.
That's Endgame, baby. You can't Justice League that.
You have
you need to introduce Batra.
Hey, back in space.
Yeah, that'd be cool, but you gotta jump a lot of steps before you get there.
We gotta connect Godzilla before we can send them to the space. Like we have an order of operations.
Yeah. Anyway, it's worth a rewatch, I think, on some levels. I think there's a lot of good there. Overall, like maybe it's just also I've seen a lot worse films and I'm putting it in a different perspective where I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's a lot more working for this than isn't working for this.
Yeah.
I will say that I think that the crucial part that doesn't work about the film, I just remembered, is Vera Farmiga's character not her turn away from her ideology is only grounded in the sense of I want to save my daughter, not I recognize I was wrong and Ghidorah's from a different ecosystem and therefore my plan was bad. That really never hits a full turn, and that's why I think that villain arc kind of goes.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say about it is that because I think Sparks, you said most of everything I would say, is that I think it works that Ghidorah is a space alien far better than it should in King of the Monsters, because that's a silly concept that they were just like, he's also a space alien.
Concept.
I totally forgot. Like a month went by after we saw the movie, and I totally forgot that the whole point was that their plan was that we're gonna unleash the monsters in our way, and we'll have control of them with the Orca. And then Ghidorah was able to ignore it, and he was repurposing everything on his own because he was an alien, and they didn't account for that. Yeah. And I forgot that was like the whole focal point of why the plan fell apart and why they screwed up. And I'm like, oh yeah.
But see, Ryan, what I was saying was that it's not silly in the movie. It's a silly concept from the original movies, but they make it work in a more grounded way.
Oh yeah.
Like I could buy that Godzilla 2014, grounded as it is, went into King of the Monsters and fought a space alien. Yeah, and that's not a hard jump for me to make in that.
I gotcha. I see what you mean. Yeah, I think once you start bringing in like the Mothra twins, like you're just going down a silly rabbit hole that like you just have to accept because that's the nature.
Also,
of it.
what a great grounded way to bring in the Mothra twins. Not having them being the fairies, you have them just be these people who've worked for Monarch and the generational twins and have this ancient connection. Like that's so cool.
I wish there was more of it.
I'm so sorry that we're still tangenting on this, but the one other thing that I totally blanked on because they brushed by it so fast is that the reason why they think their plan is the right way to go and is important is because the devastation in San Francisco and Las Vegas is regrowing nature because of the radiation from the Titans. But they clip by that so fast that it's like, it makes it just seem like you're crazy. Why would you only, and I'm like, that's really good evidence of like a solid, at least concept of maybe like one Titan into this one area when we've evacuated people so we can like rebuild some nature shit that we've ruined.
Is that during Vera Farmiga's when she's giving her speech?
When she's giving her speech.
And she puts in the USB TV profile thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I want to say on that one. We've tangented on that long enough.
Check out next week before we talk about a big monster movie.
So I started watching Dota Dragon's Blood. The first season dropped on Netflix. I only watched the first 3 episodes. Really like it.
Cool.
I think it's a really cool fantasy series. Studio Mirror is just great, and it's just great animation all the time. So that's a huge plus there. The voice acting is really cool. Yuri Lowenthal is the main character. He was Peter Parker in Spider-Man PS4. And I just think it's a really cool fantasy series. I know nothing about the games, so I have no idea how accurate it is, but I thought it was a really fun, really cool action series. Well written.
Yeah, I had no lickety split about that weird universe that's an offshoot of the Warcraft universe. So yeah, I'm glad that it seems to be getting like a lot of praise because it's like, yeah, if you don't need to know anything, just jump in, you have fun, and I'm like, cool, can't wait.
That was really nice that they introduced elements so well that you're not lost. You're like, this is a world I'm totally invested in.
Did you watch the whole series?
Just the first 3 episodes. There's 8 total.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So this is all coming from just the first 3 episodes, to clarify. But I can't imagine it changes dramatically in episode 5.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to say a couple words about a show I've been watching for so long. I think since before the podcast. I've been watching a show called Superstore, which is an NBC comedy series starring America Ferrera.
Yeah.
America Ferrera. She set in this like big box store, like a Target, like a Walmart, and it's about the people who work there. I've been watching it for a number of years. Just kind of, I like it, and it's on every Thursday, so I just watch it. And then the last season was airing. It's season 6, I believe, and it's set during the pandemic, and America Ferrera left, so it had a lot going against it in the beginning. But I think they pulled it off really well. And then I realized about 3 episodes from the end that this is the series finale. And I didn't know that initially, but apparently it was announced. So I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize the show was ending. And when it did, I cried. The ending was really well handled. America Ferrera came back, spoilers, just to kind of send off the show. It's interesting how a show sneaks up on you like that. You're just constantly watching it, never paying no mind to it. It's just something you put on every Thursday because it's on and you like it. And then like at the end, you're like, oh no, I'm going to miss this. And I thought the ending was really cool, and it's a great show. People should check it out.
That's awesome.
Very relatable. Wait, I did watch it. I watched it during when I worked at Earth 2 Comics. So I've been watching it for like 6 years, guys. Damn. Wow. I've never brought it up on the show.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Then I read a bunch of comics. Barbarian ended this week. This is the Tate Bromble. I hope I pronounced that right. Gabriel Walta spinoff of Black Hammer about the Martian Manhunter equivalent, Barbarian. Awesome series. Probably the best in the Black Hammer universe. One of the best comics. I don't know if I'd be willing to go say that, but it's got a lot of heart in it that really does so much to elevate the story in ways that you don't expect, because Tate Bromble is putting so much of his heart and soul, pouring it into this weird superhero comic about gay rights, about just what it means to be a person and fighting for that right. It's set during the AIDS crisis. Awesome book. Awesome entry to the Black Hammer universe. I just can't praise that book enough. Then I have it in front of me, so I'm going to say it first before I forget. I read a book, Godzilla. I'm on a Godzilla kick. I don't know if you could tell. History's Greatest Monster, which I have here because I need to pronounce the guy's name, from Dwayne Swerzinski.
Yep.
I believe. He did the second IDW ongoing series just titled Godzilla. So it's collected in this book, History's Greatest Monster. If you recall, we read the first volume of the first ongoing series by Eric Powell on a book club, Godzilla Kingdom of Monsters. We did that ages ago. And Eric Powell did 2 volumes of that book, and then they canceled it because they kicked him off the book because they wouldn't do what he wanted. So it took me a long time to get to this because I was really hurt by that. Years have passed since it's happened, but I'm like, this was incredible. This whole series by Eric Powell was super incredible. Could have been like the best Godzilla thing that come out that year, especially. And so I was really bummed about that. But so I decided to read the sequel series. Kind of connected, kind of not. It is definitely a reboot start here. Some threads tie in. Really fun. It's a really fun Godzilla book about Godzilla destroying cities and then fighting Space Godzilla, Ben's favorite monster. I recommend it if you're a Godzilla fan. not gonna change the mold, but there's some interesting ideas about just like where the monsters came from, how they're supposed to be our protectors. Kamunga rides Mechagodzilla, just hitches a ride on Mechagodzilla because they're gonna take him to not Ghidorah. Oh yeah, Kaiser Ghidorah is in this.
Carpooling.
Yeah, no, literally, like the main character is piloting Mechagodzilla, and he's like, "Do you think Kamunga will get on?" He's like, "I hope so." And they fly off, and Kamunga's just.
Which one's Kamunga again?
The spider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a fun book. I liked it. I'm gonna read Rulers of Earth, which is the third and final IDW series this week.
That's the one that read. He fights Zilla, right?
Yes, that's the one that made famous because he fights Zilla. They introduced Zilla.
Okay, so I had a complete run of that, except for issue 2, because issue 2 sold out immediately. Because it's the one where he fights Zilla. Everyone wants to see Godzilla fight the American Godzilla.
That's the rematch of the century.
Yeah,
Godzilla Final Wars.
It was. I enjoyed that book. I enjoyed that book quite a bit.
Nice. Sorry, I thought you were going to go longer, so I took a sip.
I don't remember. I think I got rid of the set because it wasn't a complete thing, and I remember liking it, but I guess not enough because I don't think I still have it. I'm pretty sure I don't. I might have culled it when I moved. Crap, I don't remember.
See, I should have taken a drink now.
I think all the IDWs are getting like big compiling reprints too.
The miniseries, especially, they've gotten 2 already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was cool. I caught up on Detective Comics. I was about 6 issues behind from before Future State, so it was the Tomasi run. That was a lot of fun. Tomasi's a really good Batman writer. It's all about how the new mayor is coming into Gotham City on an anti-vigilante kick. Hush is the main villain. It's cool. Then I read the first issue of the Infinite Frontier Detective Comics run that has Marika Tamaki and Dan Mora. That's really good. That's really well written. She writes a damn good Batman. Hey, I love Dan Mora. You know it. I don't think Batman's ever looked better.
Hell yeah.
There's some really cool stuff in it. I'm excited for it. It's still the other Batman book, so Batman will be the lead, and then whatever happens will influence Detective Comics rather than the other way around. So I'm interested to see how they navigate that, because some people can't, and they just kind of spin their wheels until they're taken off the book.
So somebody that I really like on Twitter, who's reading all the Bat books, saying it's not being talked about right now, but right now the Bat books are the most. They compare them to Krakoa's X-Men, but not in terms of quality, just in terms of communication between editors. Cohesion. Oh. There are like 9 Bat books happening, but apparently like everyone's working together, and like all the stuff is flowing really well together. And they're saying like, if you like Batman, now's the best time to read it. And like I was a little cold on Tinian's Batman run. Apparently, like it's incredible now. Like he finally got like the training wheels off, and he can do what he wants. And people. So
they do a really interesting thing, and I only know of it because I didn't read it, but so I know of it because of what happened. But Bruce Wayne's not rich anymore. He's he's in Gotham City. He's trying to make these do-it-yourself bat caves in the sewers. Yeah, and that creates a really interesting dynamic that I didn't think they would mind so much already.
Yeah, I like stopped like right as that stuff was happening because I just didn't dig the first arc. I thought it was too like generic. But like people seem to really be responding, and I might give it a chance because like I like reading Batman, and I'm not.
Sparks?
I was just gonna say I can't afford to jump back in.
I can't. I'm probably not going to. I just really want to.
But at a later date, it'll be cool to catch up. Yeah. Batman doesn't need my help, so it'll be there.
Exactly.
I read Harley Quinn, the Infinite Frontier Harley Quinn book by Stephanie Phillips. Yeah, it was all right. I'm not sure if it's exactly what I expected or wanted. I'm willing to give it the long haul because I think this has the potential to be what we want, what we've seen from the Harley Quinn show, like in comic book form. I hope that's the case. I think it's got the potential. Hopefully it, carries off.
Yeah, I'm excited to read that one. I have it, so you can check it out.
Good.
And then I read Batman Superman, which was the best thing I read this week, outside of Barbarian. Batman Superman, The Infinite Frontier by Gene Yang. That, outside of having like my favorite modern design of Superman, it's so funny. It's so inventive. So it's 2 stories, a Superman story and a Batman story, and they run concurrently. And you can read the Superman story, or you could read the Batman story, or go back and read the other, or you can read them both at the same time. It doesn't matter. And the way they interweave those stories together, one story is Superman in a world where Batman wasn't created, and the other story is Batman in a story where Superman hasn't been created. Super inventive, awesome book. I cannot sing his praises. We all love Gene Yang.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there you go. Like, it's an awesome book. I really liked it. Ben?
I didn't do a whole lot this week, so I'm probably gonna be like pretty short. Reading wise,
I would say you're about like a 6 foot 6'1".
I was gonna say 6'2".
I am 6'2". Thank you, Brandon. Reading wise, I actually been reading this every night before I go to bed. It's called Retro Gaming: A Bite-Sized History of Video Games by Mike Diver. It really is. It really is short. It's each chapter is only like 5 or 7 pages long. And there's like little interludes in between the chapters here and there. Like, hey, here's some consoles that you probably never heard of before. Here's some animal mascots that you may remember, like Bubsy. Like they do a tiny little blurb. It was like, hey, here's like, you know about Sonic and Crash Bandicoot, but here's a few other mascots that tried but never became as big as Sonic, Crash, and the like. So it's really awesome. I really enjoy it. I'm almost done with it. I actually reached out to the author on Twitter to see if he'll come on an episode of Pause Menu because I really want to talk to him about this because I really dig it.
Nice.
Yeah. So besides that, speaking of Pause Menu, I recorded a new episode with one half of the members of the Retro Blast podcast, Patrick. I am totally blanking on his last name. I think it's Brickwell or Brickhole. Patrick, if you're watching, I'm sorry. But he and I sat down. It was just the two of us, and we talked for like hour 40 minutes, and it was awesome. Can't wait for that to come up on this channel and on the audio feed.
Yeah, I'll put it up when I'm damn good and ready, sir.
Okay.
And by that, I mean whenever you want it up.
All right. One of the games I finally started. I got like 2 weeks ago. Haven't put it in. I finally put it in this week. Hades. The hype is real. Hades is really McFrickin' good. I started playing it when I came home from work one night because I had a really shitty day at work that day, and I was like, I need to play something to get my mind off of things. And then I popped in Hades. I'm like, okay, let's see how it goes. I got to Megara. The first time I got to Megara, she kicked my ass. Second time I got to her, I finally beat her. I'm like, cool. Hopefully I don't have to fight her again. Spoilers, you have to fight her again. Like, if you die in the next world and you go back and you have to fight your way all the way to the next world of Tartarus, you have to go through her again.
Welcome to roguelikes. That's what those games are.
And actually, the whole time I'm playing it, I was actually thinking of Brandon and Sparks because they're the big Greek mythology nerds. And as I'm playing it,
like, I'm not an actual Greek, Ben.
All right.
Like, I didn't grow up loving it as well. How dare you?
Well, do you have a show called Miscellaneous?
Yes, it's on this channel. You all have it. It's everyone's show.
You know what I mean.
Ryan's welcome on it, whatever he wants.
I was already on it.
Oh, yeah, Ryan was already on it.
You guys are silly. Ben, continue.
No, as I'm playing through it, because, I mean, yes, you have Hades, you have Zeus, and you have a bunch of the Greek pantheon giving you blessings and helping you out. But I love the banter between Zagreus, the main character, the person you play, who's trying to bust his way out of hell, talking to Nyx, who's his surrogate mom. Because and the story isn't like thrown at you in the very beginning. You have to, as you go through Tartarus and as you keep dying, coming back to the House of Hades, going back through Tartarus, and then Asphodel, and then the last world, which I don't know where that is because I'm not there yet. Each time you go through, Hades is always like very snarky. He's like, "You gotta give up this time. You should. You're never gonna make it out of here, dude." Then you got Hypno, who always has a snarky comment on how you died.
Yeah. Great.
Like if you died by an Asphodel, which is like the fire and brimstone, like kind of like actual hell. It's there's these bomber. I don't know I can't remember what they're called, but there's these enemies that throw bombs at you, and after you kill one, a bomb will just jump up in the air and land where the thing died. So if you're standing in the vicinity of where you killed that last enemy, you're gonna get hit by that bomb. And I died by that. After I saw, I was like, hey, something's flying out of the air. Oh shit! And then I died.
Hades has big time Inyama energy. He's
Oh,
just
yes.
constantly sitting
Oh,
behind his
yeah.
doing paperwork, and he's always like, murder, like every time.
That is so correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the best features of the game, you can pet Cerberus.
I was literally about to ask, if you don't pet that dog every time you see him, you're a monster.
Oh, I pet that dog every time I see him. Every time I see him, I give him pets.
So cute.
I even gave him Nectar of the Gods once, and he gave me his collar and grants me like extra health every time I go into the dungeon. But I can only equip one at a time, which bums me out.
Love it.
Yeah, Hades is really great. Hype is real. I'm not bummed that I waited this long because I like having my games physical. So when the physical release came out, I had to get it. I got it. I'm glad I did, and I'm probably gonna be playing it more tonight.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Besides Hades, more Super Mario 3D World. That's an awesome game. Absolutely love playing that. And I finished Star Trek Lower Decks. That show is great.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
I literally finished it right before we started recording this.
Nice.
Yeah, so right when Brandon, you said you were watching an episode of Nailed It, that's when I finished watching Lower Decks.
Oh yeah, I watched the first episode of season 5 and nailed it. That show's still funny.
Yeah.
That's a cooking show?
Yep.
Yeah, Lower Decks is
They
great.
had a Greek mythology episode, actually. The first episode was a Greek mythology episode.
I don't like Greek mythology. I'm never going to watch it.
Sorry, you're right. What was I thinking?
Not versed in that at all.
No.
Anyway.
That's a joke that's going to be biting me in the ass for the rest of my life.
Not at all, Ben. I'm just joking.
Just the rest of tonight.
We'll forget it next week. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Most of us are high.
That's not true.
I'm that fat. I'm most of you all.
And then
All right.
Yeah, Lower Decks, can't wait to season 2. I'm probably just going to do a 1 week free trial for Paramount Plus again for when season 2 of Lower Decks comes out, and I'll just binge that and then just call it a day.
This year, supposedly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my week. That's all I did.
All right. Shall we get into our...
It's almost redemption for screwing up the opening.
What do you mean? If this is the audio thing, it went perfectly.
let's be honest, I'll forget to edit out of the audio. All right. We got some sad news to start up top. A couple of people passed away. George Segal, who most recently has been on the Goldbergs for many seasons, but long history in Hollywood. Great actor. He passed away this week at the age of 87.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this guy was in so much stuff.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Um,
Just shoot me. Everyone,
Long life, good body of work.
Oh yeah, television, like royalty, dude. He was in so much stuff.
yeah, I think he's Oscar nominated also. Like he was in movies. Not 100% sure, but hey, he's gone. So let's say yes.
Yes, Oscar nominated George. Thank you.
And then we also lost Jessica Walter, Arrested Development's Archer. She passed away this week at the age of 80. A long career in not even comedy, which is great because Arrested Development is awesome.
Yeah. The 1-2 punch of Archer and Arrested Development the past 20 years is
Cemented her
is like, again, like she isn't like her past isn't just comedy, but like she's become a comedy icon.
Yeah. It's been very impressive to see all the people on Twitter discovering her length of her career.
Me.
And how far back it went and all the stuff she's done.
We got a friend.
Real quickly, Downright Nerdy says, hi, everybody. Hello, Downright Nerdy.
Hello, friends.
Welcome back, Downright Nerdy Podcast. They're putting out episodes again.
Finally returned.
About damn time.
Yeah, just Lucille Bluth is my favorite character on Arrested Development. She was Granny Goodness in the Harley Quinn TV series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Great.
Yeah, like looking like being on Twitter and like seeing like all like how much stuff she's done over the decades, and it's like, man, she was so beautiful and she stayed beautiful and she's just so funny, and it seems like just a warm soul, and it's like, that's a shame.
Just,
long life.
how much is a banana, Michael? What, $10?
Here, see a Star Wars.
Here's the Star Wars. There's like, I love all my children equally. I don't care for Job.
Yeah. God, yeah. I like so many Archer clips, so many Arrested Development clips like this week. Like, yeah. He's a real one.
Unfortunately, I'd never watched Arrested Development, but I did watch, I want to say about 4 seasons of Archer, and I freaking love her in Archer.
Yeah.
Same energy, just in a spy show.
It's the same character.
Yeah.
Totally is. Watch Arrested Development season 1 through 3 and ignore the others.
What other season do you mean?
You're right. All right, we got some Ray Fisher updates this week. Some Ray Fisher things came out. Ann Sarnoff had some choice words to say about some things this week. Most relevant is she spoke against toxic fans. It's like, we have no place for this. We have no tolerance for these types of fans. And then said that Ray Fisher is not under any NDAs that she knows of, which was interesting considering that's been his kind of go-to line. Like, I have an NDA and I can't say this yet.
She also put a final nail in this was the end of Snyder's trilogy.
Yeah.
It's the end.
Yeah.
It's over.
Oh yeah.
She said, we're not going forward with this.
Which Snyderverse cultists have taken to lambast her for calling them toxic fans, which is like, she didn't say that. She just said toxic fans are an issue, and people who are toxic took that personally.
Of course they did.
Man.
Downright nerdy. Just pull it up for the video listeners.
Yeah, Gilmore Girls, they're watching.
If you need me to be.
Those later seasons are rough, my man.
Yeah, so also the Snyder Cut people are review bombing Godzilla vs. Kong. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's real dumb.
Anyway, so Ray Fisher.
Snyder cult. I really want to be specific about that because we're talking about two different factions.
Because I am now Team Snyder Cut. That is me. I understand why Ray Fisher is mad. It still doesn't excuse some of the things he said in the past we've talked about, but like, considering he's the star of that movie and he's literally cut to not be in that movie anymore, I could now totally see why he's doing this, because he's removed from the Justice League movie.
Would you? I haven't seen it. So
yeah.
would you argue that it is or is not a stretch to say that it's racially motivated?
Because
I mean, that's the argument.
He is. I could say yeah, because they not only cut him so much from the movie, all the other people of color are also cut from the movie, and they're all important to the movie. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. After now seeing the movie, they didn't just cut him from the movie. They actively went out of their way to remove him from the movie, where it ruins the plot. Mm. So like they butchered that movie as far as I'm concerned.
He said he posted a Twitter thing. Yeah. Downright nerdy's in the chat. So he talks about, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but he's still talking about, you know, what Spark said about racially motivated cuts to Justice League, saying that Walter Amada did interfere with the investigation, and he doesn't trust the investigator, and what was the other thing he said? That's basically it. And he's talking, he said more soon, like, he's going to talk about how, like, this is what they found because they need to get everyone involved that he's accusing, not just Joss Whedon. Yeah. We just, like, almost every week, like, micro announcements. Like, if there isn't an NDA, man, it's like, you can just come forward. The movie's out. People are more on your side now than ever before. People who weren't on your side are now on your side. Like, you don't have to. I guess he's just really still scared, but I don't think he needs to be anymore. What was it? Last week we talked about the Ethan Van Sciver things. I forgot to mention that he called Ray Fisher a Cryborg because of his accusations towards Jeff Johns and everyone, which screw him. Also, just gonna drive that one back in there from last week.
Let's not. I don't want to go on a tirade and make this episode explicit again.
I cut it all out anyway.
Oh. Hell yeah! Bleep bleep bleep. If we're gonna do this, my God, it's like the movie's out now, so like now's the time to say what you need to say. Like, please, just say what you need to say.
I was thinking it. I wasn't gonna do it.
That's why I'm here.
Sparks, you have anything
I do kind of wish that Ray Fisher were getting on the Zack Snyder boat of separating the toxicity in the fandom, because he's very #restore the Snyderverse. He's been posting a lot of that, and I'm like, can you also at the same time say, like, the people who are going about it in the toxic and really bad ways, the people who are being flat out racist, even about you, like, can you just say that's not who you're for?
100%.
Because you've got the megaphone of attention right now.
Yeah,
I just wish he would do that, and I feel like sometimes, like, it's weird because, like, he is a champion of, like, racial justice in Hollywood right now, is the beacon of that, and at the same time I'm like, but part of the platform that you're using it to stand on is based on people who are racist, and that's really strange. I
think he didn't want to be seen agreeing with Anne, Sarnoff because he's really he's really upset with her and her statements about the Snyder Cut specifically, saying that we're not going to go forward with the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Downright nerdy being a goofball in the comments.
Love it.
It's weird, it's an incredible film. Anyway, so anything more to add on that before we move on?
No, I'm just like, I now that like, man, that movie's out and like we all understand why he's so mad. Like, just give us more, man. Like we're here for you. Like the longer this goes on, like you lose a little bit of goodwill here and there, you know.
Ooh. Sorry, I pushed the wrong button. All right. Anyway,
Oh,
so we have some delays, some COVID delays happen this week.
let this be the final delay. Let this
Probably
be the
will
final
be.
delay.
Black Widow was pushed from its May 7th release date to July 9th. Not only that, but it's going to have a hybrid release, same as Raya the Last Dragon, for $30 on Premier access to Disney Plus.
I would gladly pay $30 now, but by July, I'm not gonna have to.
We'll be vaccinated. I'm going to see this in theaters.
Hell yeah, baby.
It's good it is good because it's like people will get to see it where the theaters aren't open.
Yeah. Some people, for some reason, they might not be able to get vaccinated in a couple months. I don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
Not all states have
Not
the
all
same opportunity that we do.
absolutely.
In California.
Cover your bases. People who can't leave the home, like everybody wins, and they're probably going to make a lot of money this way too.
And not everybody's necessarily going to feel safe, especially because we still don't know entirely how variants are going to affect all the vaccines.
True.
As they spread.
True.
Which I get my first shot tomorrow.
Nice. So Black Widow took Shang-Chi's date. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has been pushed from its July date to September 3rd and will be strictly theaters.
Holy shit, you guys. We're getting a Marvel TV show like every other month, and we're getting a new Marvel movie like every 2 months. Because they're not moving Eternals, and that's November. So we got July, then September, then November.
And then December.
Oh my god, that's too. You know what? Oversaturation, my butthole. Give it to me.
So that's still coming. Cruella is going to keep its May 28th release date, but it will now be a hybrid release. $30 Premier access on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
May, still good by then, baby.
Yep.
I actually assumed that would come out on Disney Plus personally.
I would think so too, but I think now that vaccinations seem to be going well, they're like, oh, if we can squeeze money out of these people, maybe we can.
I wonder if Cruella will be our first movie back at theaters.
April. Well, man, if only Mortal Kombat was like a week later, dude.
Yeah.
That could have been it.
I mean, maybe as a group, but like,
yeah.
I'm vaccinated. I'm gonna go after I see some friends.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Nice for you.
I'll roll with that.
Yeah, I want to see Nobody before it leaves theaters.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Free Guy has been pushed from its May 21st release date to August 13th. So,
Oh yeah, that's that Ryan Reynolds movie about the video game.
I was literally just trying to remember what that movie was.
I was like,
It's the
actually,
Ryan
that
Reynolds
movie,
game one.
for some reason, that movie popped in my head the other day. I was like, does that ever come out? Oh, that's right. It was supposed to come out before COVID, and then the COVID thing happened.
Yep.
The King's Man has been pushed from its August 20th release date to December 22nd.
Woo.
Jeez,
That's
that's the movie where it's like, is this movie ever gonna freaking come out?
December. When Spider-Man comes out?
Yeah.
Hot dog.
Yeah, like I'm excited for that movie, but now it's been pushed a year and a half. Almost.
When did
That's
we
crazy.
see Brandon, wasn't it on our way to Comic-Con 3 years ago when we first saw the trailer for The King's Man?
No. 3 years ago? No.
No way.
It was the one I know it was the one trip where we went. It was just you, me, Fanny, and my other roommate, and we only went for the one day.
Your memory is a lot better than mine is, my friend. I won't be able to corroborate this information.
I just know it's been a very long time.
Death on the Nile has been pushed from September 17th to February 11th, 2022.
Oh yeah, there we go.
All the way to
Did
next year.
we got a trailer for that, right?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Luca.
I am Hercule Poirot, and I will not make my mustache any less silly.
The new Pixar film Luca is going to keep its June 18th release date. However, will go to a Disney Plus exclusively for no extra charge.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a lot of people were kind of iffy on this one because they're like, how come I have to pay more? Okay, Black Widow, they understand, but
No, I'm the opposite though. I'm like, why don't I have to pay for the Pixar one?
Why are both Pixars getting the shaft? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
that's the argument. People are saying, how come Pixar isn't third time? I'm assuming that's for Kingsman.
Yeah.
The only theory I have is that they know Pixar movies perform well internationally.
Yeah.
And so they're like, that's fine. Like they do so well internationally, they don't need to worry about it. It's fine. I guess. That's the only way that I can square it in my mind is that it's fine if America gets it exclusively for free.
It's just weird. Cruella, they're charging for that, and they're not going to charge for the Pixar, which seems like the bigger investment.
I get that.
It's
because I guess they feel like they don't need the money for it because I think a lot of people would pay for Luca before they'd pay for some of the others like Raya. And I think that's been kind of the thing is that like Raya is something where they're nervous about like making the money back. All the ones we've had to pay for are ones where they're nervous about making money back, but they're not nervous about Pixar. So Pixar can be offered for free. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of logic to me because to me, Pixar is like an automatic, you get butts in seats because people love them.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this though. And like, for Soul, I didn't have to pay. I got that. I understood that, but it's like, it's just this one company, Marvel Studios, Walt Disney Studios, Walt Disney Animation, you got to pay for those. But Pixar, no.
I'm really bummed that I can't go see Luca in theaters, honestly.
That's the thing. They're not even giving us a choice. Yeah,
I really wanted to go see Luca in theaters, and that's not going to happen. And I'm really bummed about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love seeing Pixar movies on the big screen.
I really wanted to see Luca in theaters, too.
Back 4 Blood, the video game, has been pushed from its summer release date to October of this year.
That's fine.
Video game delays are always good.
Yeah.
And it's more spooky time, so okay.
Spiral from the Book of Saw has actually moved up from its May 21st release date to May 14th. So 1 week.
Okay. I forgot all about that. I'm excited.
Me too. When I said it, I was like, oh, right.
Yeah, Chris Rock saw.
The Mitchells versus the Machines, which we first saw the trailer for as Connected, now has a release date. Yeah. Now has a release date of April 30th on Netflix.
Okay. Cool. In a month.
And then San Diego Comic-Con. They did announce that they were not going to have an in-person event for their July event, so it's going to be virtual again. They're doing a virtual Comic-Con. I got to say that because their in-person event, not the same thing. However, they stupidly decided to put it on November 26th and the 28th, which is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they like signed a deal with like the airlines or something because that's like the busiest travel day of the year. Like that is the dumbest.
I have seen so many professionals, comics and Hollywood both, who have said we're not going.
Hell no.
I don't know who they think is going to be there, but we're not going. What makes them think that anybody like is going to spend after the last year not spend one of their holiday weekends with their families?
Boardroom?
Who thinks that?
What boardroom was like this is a good decision? Like I have to know who thought this was a good idea. Man.
There's a statement that I want to read real quickly. The fall event will allow the organization to highlight all the great elements that make Comic-Con such a popular event each year, as well as generate much needed revenue, not only for the organization, but also for local businesses and the community.
Not going to happen, dog. This is going to be a huge waste of money.
Yeah. It's meant to be a smaller con like WonderCon at home. Like WonderCon's doing a similar thing, I think.
I can't imagine how many people will go. Like,
not enough. Like it will definitely have people, but San Diego is the biggest convention.
I'm thinking exhibitionists. Like, what exhibitionists are going to be willing to do that in the circumstances?
Man, I might go.
What?
Exhibitionists? I might go. Get it? Because like the sex thing, we wouldn't understand.
Sexy time.
That's for Fake Nerds After Dark. I apologize.
Yeah, but still a bad idea. Not that. That's fine. The Thanksgiving Comic-Con.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's ridiculous. Just come back in July.
I'm fine with waiting for Comic-Con for another year. That's okay. I have to wait for a WonderCon for another year. I'm fine with that. I want to go when it's safe to be packed in there like sardines. I'm not going on Thanksgiving weekend. Because A, that's my one day off. And B, I'm going to have to hate work the next day because that's one of the busiest freaking days for me.
Why not like the week before or the week after? Like, I don't get it. It's so dumb.
I don't know if I want to go. I don't think after the pandemic I'm going to want to go be packed in and like a can of
I could tell you
sardines.
now, I'm not going to a theme park or convention this year whatsoever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't care
Yeah.
how safe people it is. I'm waiting. No way.
I don't want to be that close to people right now.
Yeah. Again, going back to the regular world seems a little weird at this point.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so their virtual convention will be on July 23rd to the 25th.
Can't wait. I love those things.
Yeah, God, I hate them so much. Okay, comic news. We got some comic book news. Thomas Jane, Punisher himself, guys. One of them. The second one is doing a comic book for Aftershock called Lycan. He's going to be writing this with David James Kelly with art by Mike Carey.
Mike Carey, nice.
Yeah. I'm just going to read the solicitation. Year of our Lord 1777, a hardened band of international big game hunters returning from Africa are shipwrecked off a small British island. In exchange for new supplies and the repairing of their good ship, the Caledonian, Lord Ludgate engages the men for a task they are particularly well suited for: find the berserker beast that has been eating his subjects, including a group of young Benedictine nuns, and destroy it.
That sounds radical. Like it's 1777. A bunch of people land on an island. There's a monster there. Can you fight it? Probably not.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
It's another actor doing a comic book.
Yeah. Didn't have to kickstart this one though.
Well, also with Aftershock, they wouldn't, because they're smarter than Boom.
Yeah, and have way less money too. Funny enough.
Yeah. Guys, we all like Michael Morisi.
Yes,
It's true.
We interviewed him, and he's coming out with a new comic book, Barbaric, in June. Barbaric, written by Michael Morisi, with art by Nathan Gooden, follows Owen the Barbarian, who is burdened with a sentient axe with questionable morals and a taste for blood. Looks super cool.
Yeah. So is he a bad guy with an axe that's good, or the opposite?
No, he's trying to atone for past sins with an axe that's kind of like the devil on his shoulder.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I'm sure it's gonna have like a wild, like silly, dark tone, like Morisi's books often do. Yeah, I'm totally in. Love me some indie books. What was the artist's name again? Can you tell me?
Nathan Gooden.
Nathan Gooden. Okay.
Gooden. Okay. This was leaked, so take it with a grain of salt. Even though we got art, Superman and the Authority by Grant Morrison.
It's definitely real.
Art by Mikkel Janin.
Ooh.
Basically this was a leaked from Amazon listing thing of a hardcover that Grant Morrison is supposedly writing, with Superman taking over the Authority with Manchester Black, Midnighter, Enchantress, Omac, Apollo, and Natasha Irons.
This is the weirdest. This is the weirdest thing because one, like most of those characters aren't on the Authority.
Yeah.
The Authority is a Warren Ellis thing, so clearly they want to do something with how dope the Authority is without the original guy. So I guess you get Grant Morrison, who pretty cool if you ask me. So Grant Morrison, they wrote Tom Strong, which is basically like a 1950s like pulp hero thing. And it looks like he's just doing that, but with Superman. Superman's got the gray sideburns. And he's doing like tech shit. And that like he's just doing Tom Strong but with Superman. And I think that looks pretty cool. I gotta see what the plot is, but I'm very excited that they're doing it. It's really weird because the Superman and the Authority do not go together. So it's why are they together?
Well, and Grant Morrison also said he was done with DC Comics.
Yes. What's going on there? What's going on there, buddy?
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and Mikkel Janin, like he worked on Batman with Tom King for a long time. Oh no, that's Clayman doing Batman, Catwoman. But yeah, I'm super stoked. Whatever this is, like Grant Morrison's doing comics, I'm there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
Milestone. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say I really like Superman with gray sideburns. I think that always looks cool.
I love it.
Milestone. We talked a bit about Milestone being digital only books at first anyway, and how kind of like they're skipping the thing for DC Universe Infinite. Milestone, however, have decided to push their books back because they're also going to release them print on the same day as they will launch digitally.
Thank God. So I can actually get them now.
Yeah. And then the big news in the comic book world is that Marvel Comics has severed ties with their distribution, Diamond Distribution, which they've been exclusive to since 1997.
99.
And then Diamond immediately cut a deal.
They were so scared.
Penguin Random House. Marvel and DC are 70% of their output. That's insane.
Turn.
When you have a monopoly.
So when they lose that, it's like they don't have a whole lot more. So Marvel has teamed up with Penguin Random House, their distribution arm. Penguin Random House is normally a publisher, but they do have a distribution arm that they will now distribute Marvel comics through. This would be the first time they're distributing comics floppies to the direct market, which are comic book stores. They've never done this before, so this is new for them.
New venture.
And then Diamond will be able to you'll still get your Marvel comics from Diamond. However, Diamond will have to buy them from Penguin Random House.
God, I love it so much. The tides have turned so much.
How does it feel, Diamond? How does it now feel?
This is going over a lot better than what DC did. Because DC was like, "Hey, in 2 weeks, you gotta partner up with one of these two distribution services." Sorry, and Marvel's like, "Okay, we got till October. This is a distribution service that you probably already have because they distribute Dark Horse comics, trades. So now you just buy some Marvel comics through it, and so it's a little bit easier of a transition going from Diamond to Penguin."
Seems like a win to me, right? Like everyone wins. No one seems to be mad about this. I'm like, everyone in the comics industry is like, yeah, I'm real stoked. Like, fuck Diamond. Like this seems really cool.
It's nice to see that the comic book industry is bouncing back so well that it can support 3 distribution companies. Because this is not the first time we've had multiple distribution companies. They've all gone under, except for Diamond, and now they feel strong enough to have 3 now.
Because this is what happened to Marvel in the 90s. They tried to do their own thing, and then it went real bad.
Heroes World, yeah.
Yeah, working through Penguin Random House makes a lot of sense. Penguin Random House is typically who most Disney publishing goes through.
Yeah.
I hope that a whole lot of places get petty and are like, I'll just go straight to Penguin. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Like, oh, we don't need the middleman? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically all I got about that one. So do we want to move on?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you wrote an article. People can look at it.
Yeah. Thank you.
It always kind of brings a smile to my face whenever Diamond gets the shaft in a way.
The story of how Diamond became a monopoly is crazy. I highly recommend it. It's not a book. It's just Wikipedia. Read Wikipedia.
Okay.
All right. Comic book adaptations. To no one's surprise, Berserker, Boom Studios, Keanu Reeves, Matt Kint, Berserker comic, is being turned into a movie at Netflix.
And
an anime sequel.
Are we kickstarting both of these two, Brandon?
I hope so. They shouldn't, but I hope they do.
No, they shouldn't. That's a joke on my part.
The anime series will follow later and expand on characters and story elements introduced in the movie, and Keanu Reeves will play the main character, obviously, in both.
No shit.
I bought that anyway. You read that first issue, right, Brandon?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I have it and I flipped through it. I haven't like actually given it the attention, but like he's like a warrior who's like 80,000 years old, and he's just like it's like the most violent book maybe ever made. And I'm like, this looks pretty cool. Okay, I'll see a live action thing of this. Sure.
Yeah, I have nothing against this. I like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
I feel like this is what they were aiming for anyway, making this into a movie.
Yeah. I just hate the Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
Although I do like the picture of Keanu Reeves that's been circulating the internet of him at a comic book store buying issues of Berserker.
That's cute. I haven't seen those. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. The next Shazam film has cast Helen Mirren as the villain Hespera. She'll join Rachel Ziegler, who was cast a couple of weeks ago, as sisters, who both may or may not be of ill intent. So says the quote.
And that's funny because Rachel Ziegler is like 60 years younger than Helen Mirren. And they're sisters. That's pretty fun.
In the synopsis, Mirren's character is called the Daughter of Atlas, who is a character in the DC universe created by Jack Kirby, of course, based on the Greek god Titan.
But this isn't like an original villain.
Yeah, this is not a villain that has existed in the comics. Hespera.
That's cool.
Comic Book G-Spot. Hello, sir.
How's it going, bud?
Yeah, man, Helen Mirren rules. Like, Yeah, established character or new villain. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, she's going to be the villain of a Shazam movie. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Her playing off Zachary Levi. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to see her rubbery body fly into the air and
Oh God,
shoot lightning.
bro. Did you guys see in similar news the Black Adam movie? There's like billboards in Times Square for it already. Like The Rock was in Times Square and like all the billboards up.
All the video screens.
All the video
turned
screens.
into the lightning bolt and announced the release date.
That movie. Sorry if that was news. It was tied to this, but like that movie's filming soon. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that is the next thing. Cool. Black Adam, July 22nd, 2022 is its release date. But honestly, guys, the only thing I care about is that Pierce Brosnan has been cast as Dr. Fate.
Man, old man Fate.
He's perfect. He's perfect for Kent Nelson. Holy crap!
Thank you, DC. So many times do you screw up. So many times there are times you do some right things. This is one of those right things that I thank you for. I freaking love Dr. Fate. He is, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Fate is one of my favorite characters. I'm a big fan of DC Occult, even if they don't write enough of it. But Dr. Fate is an awesome character who I've loved ever since he was voiced by Oded Fair in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
No, Dr. Fate is one of those characters that I fell in love with from a Superman comic book. It's like The Adventures of Superman based off the cartoon. Mm-hmm. And in this one, he Dr. Fate just shows up to Clark, like blasts his clothes away. He's like, Dr. Fate, are you mad? And he's like, no, dude, magic, dude. Don't worry about it. I got to talk to you. We got stuff to go through.
Magic,
baby.
He's a cool character. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Fate is one of the Justice Society members, founder. His helmet is the helm of Naboo, and it possesses him essentially whenever he puts it on. We knew we were getting the JSA in Black Adam. I was already excited, but man, this really kicks it up a notch.
Yeah, they're really getting like a whole bunch of people.
Yeah,
I tried to support years ago I need to talk about Dr. Fate. Years ago, when the New 52 was doing this thing, they actually launched a new Dr. Fate #1.
Yes. And DCU.
Yeah,
DCU.
it was a DCU thing. I picked up the #1, and the store, as far as I know, the store never got issue #2. And
No, full series did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about my store never got #2.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, my store never got #2, and then it got #3. But I wanted to support it, but issue #1 just did not grab me as well as I was hoping
that
for.
Introduced the new Dr. Fate Khalid, who is the current Dr. Fate in the Justice League Dark. So
okay,
he's a legacy character now.
Yeah, I really wanted to support that book, but then I didn't get issue 2, and I didn't want to hunt it down. I just figured, I have this #1, that's fine. But besides that, I freaking love Dr. Fate. He is my favorite JSA member. Every time he shows up in I loved him in Smallville. Young Justice, awesome. Dr. Fate's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really stoked for this. Pierce Brosnan's great.
Yes, he is.
James Bond. All right, Zatanna, the new Zatanna Project movie. Now we know Emerald Fennell, who is the director of Promising Young Woman, which we reviewed on the show, has been hired to write the script for Bad Robot, who is developing the book, the movie.
Was also the writer of Promising Young Woman.
Well, director of Promising Young Woman, right?
I just wanted to be clear that it's not director going to writer and didn't wrote Promising Young Woman is writing Zatanna.
Yeah,
man, that's so cool. I love Zatanna. She speaks backwards. It's so cool. Zatara's pretty cool. That's her dad, also a magician, man. Man, DC's really, really doing stuff. It's pretty cool.
I love Zatanna's full name, Zatanna Zatara.
Yeah.
So
that's her full name.
To reference back to the news we talked about at the beginning, what Anne, her last name, Brandon.
Zatara.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, Fennell.
Nope.
Oh, you mean Anne?
Thank you. Was talking about in that hopefully fans can get on board with the Snyder stuff being done, but they have a lot of cool ideas for where they're going with DC stuff. I'm happy right now.
Absolutely.
The future looks bright.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. The Flash. Okay, wait, hold on. Comic book G-Spot content. Sorry, guys, I watched the Snyder Cut times. I saw you like the Snyder Cut. Cool.
What I said isn't a shot on the Snyder Cut because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
It's not a shot on that. It's just I I can't see the blend of what they're talking about doing and what Snyder had a specific vision. I'm not even against that vision continuing, but at this point it has to be its own thing.
Yeah.
And everything else is something new and diverse. And I want this new and diverse stuff. I'm not anti the Snyder stuff, but that stuff clearly wasn't building with a wider universe in mind the way that this stuff is.
Yeah, man, they established the multiverse. You can have multiple things happening at once.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So The Flash, Ron Livingston has been cast as Henry Allen. He will replace Billy Crudup.
I kind of bummed for Billy Crudup, but
I am super bummed because I really like Billy Crudup as an actor and as Barry's dad. But man, the dad energy that Ron Livingston puts out is equal, if not more, than Billy Crudup. Like, so if you're gonna get another like sad dad, he's really good. And I was worried when we talked about the casting that just like for some reason he wouldn't be in the movie. Like, I don't know why, like, I didn't think they would recast him, and I'm glad they did, because he's essential to Barry's plot.
Well, we speculated that they didn't have to, like, because, you know, you didn't need to show him, and then you bring Billy Crudup back later, but they've just recast him.
Yeah, which is a shame. They didn't want to wait, but whatever.
And Michael Keaton has talked about how he's not entirely sure he will join the Flash movie.
Yeah, he's waiting to see how COVID pans out over there, because it's not really getting any better.
Yeah.
And he wants to read the script.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like a ton of things that he wants to do. He's producing and things. So
yeah.
Static Shock, Michael B. Jordan's Static Shock movie. Randy McKinnon has been tapped to direct. He co-wrote a 2020 Disney Plus film, Safety.
Okay.
Okay. Tokyo Ghost, Ryan. Legendary is going to work on an live-action adaptation. Cary Fukunaga will direct the adaptation, and Rick Remender, who wrote the comic, will write the script.
Oh, no, this doesn't sound particularly great, does it?
I don't know. The last thing Rick Remender wrote is one of the greatest comic book television shows ever made. So, like, I don't know. You tell me, my man.
Got canned, though.
It sure got canned. Hell yeah. Good things never last, right?
Which one? Deadly Class?
Deadly Class, yeah. I am after the failure of Deadly Class. That whole cast and Rick Remender was really bummed. And any time of a revival is long past. The fact that they are still writing on him writing his own script for a huge big budget movie makes me so happy, because that dude wrote the material, and it's always good when you get the people who worked on it to come back for it. It's usually always a good thing. Cary Fukunaga, one of the guys who was going to direct the Flash movie, no longer. I don't remember the last thing he did. I know he did Dope. That's like the movie.
He directed No Time to Die.
No Time to... Oh my God, big James Bond boy. Dude, that's great. Man, Tokyo Ghost is like a really cool post-apocalyptic story about addiction with technology, and I love that story. I hope they do it justice. I hope they go hard like that book goes hard.
We did it as a book club a while back.
We sure did. Whoop, whoop.
The MODOK TV series had a WonderCon at Home panel where they revealed that John Hamm will play Tony Stark.
He's Iron Ham. That's what they call him.
Whoopi Goldberg will play Pound Cakes. Nathan Fillion will play Wonder Man, reprising his role from the deleted scenes of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yes.
And Bill Hader will play Anger, the Screamer, and the Leader. The Hulk.
I am so ready for this show. The guy who show runs the show is on Twitter just nonstop talking about how excited he is for this show. He's also the dude who wrote the MODOK Head Games miniseries that's currently coming out. So I might check that out now, knowing it's the same dude. Yeah, everything I've seen, this show looks like it's going to be fantastic. Very excited. Definitely not canon to Marvel, but whatever.
Yeah,
you can have two things. That's fun.
May 21st is when it comes out. Echo, the Marvel Comics character Echo, supposedly is getting a spinoff from Hawkeye, because she's in Hawkeye.
Right, there's a big rumor right now, but
yeah.
So that would be something.
We just talked about last week about Game of Thrones has like nine things in development. So to that sentiment, I will go, I can't judge this because I haven't seen who Echo is, but if you guys think it's good, if she's good enough to have her own show, fine, but like I can't.
It could also be that that the performance is impressing them on set.
100%. Echo's cool. Yeah. Echo.
And of course, like, you know, you got to look at it like some of these things are people throwing these names out during press meetings, board meetings, and then an intern goes to the press and be like, hey, they said that they're doing this. So
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got to look out for that too.
I mean, there was that that Mockingbird Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff that filmed the pilot that didn't go anywhere. You can watch that pilot. And apparently, it's pretty good. But like again, like not everything Marvel makes comes out.
I was really bummed that didn't happen.
Yeah, I like those two characters, her and whatever.
I really would like if I could pull one thing from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tied to the MCU, it'd be Adrian Palicki showing up as Mockingbird in Hawkeye.
She's so good, dude. And her and Hawkeye have such a long relationship.
I know, it'd be so good.
Well, the Orville is filming right now. Orville season 3.
Ooh,
yeah.
The Boys has cast Katya Winter as Little Nina, who is a Russian mob boss who works with Vought and has a thing for sex toys.
Oh boy,
sounds very The Boys.
Sounds something. Yep. That's
hey guys, there's a miniseries that came out very, very long into The Boys' run called Herogasm, and it's about the yearly festival that all the superheroes go to. That is literally a giant festival of sex, and they're just there for debauchery. And we're just every time we talk about the news for The Boys, we're one step closer to getting to that horrific, the worst thing I've ever seen in a comic. Can't wait to see that, guys. Oh my god, it's awful.
All right. Okay. Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh.
It's getting a movie.
That game came out like 9 months ago.
Chad Stahelski has been hired to direct the films. He's the co-director of John Wick and the director of John Wick 2 and 3.
Yep.
What do you think of this?
I think it's a very interesting choice because I feel like they just want to make a cool samurai movie. Because that's what that game is. It's a cool samurai movie that's turned into 30 hours. It's going to be a cool action movie, but like...
I haven't played the game myself.
Yeah.
I've seen some video stuff, but I listened to the Waypoint discussion about it, where they talk about how it's very much like white boy interpretation of what's cool about Japan culture, and we're going to make that a video game. And that's like the worst parts about it, but it also is a gorgeous game that's pretty fun to play.
Absolutely.
And I don't feel like I need a movie of that unless we're going to get someone writing something that's going to make it more culturally representative than the game has been. And because otherwise I'm like, the game is gorgeous and I don't know that I need a movie trying to replicate that
again. And that game, it's about the Mongol invasion of this island, and like the one surviving samurai, and he becomes basically like a Ronin. He becomes the ghost of Tsushima, killing all these Mongolians and stuff. And I'm like, it's a cool generic story. And if you're just looking for a John Wick that's set in the 1500s, that's what you're getting. Like, I think that's literally all they're going for because that's kind of what it is.
I'm sure. I think like where I would really hope that they'd hear the criticism of the game, which I don't think they did.
They got a white guy to direct it.
But that exactly. Yeah. But like, what really matters is who's writing. At this point, and like who's going to come in and write this, and is it going to be a direct adaptation of the game? Some people have talked about it being like something else or a sequel to the game or something like that. One of the key points that stood out to me in them talking about it on Waypoint is that the game represents Tsushima with so many things that are not in that location. That are just appropriations of like iconic Japanese
a fabricated
motifs.
Island. Yes,
right, and that's where it's like. I feel like we can do better at this point, is all. And especially if we're going to make a film out of it. I feel like if we don't learn the lessons, that's kind of a bummer. I agree. I think what this largely is probably like the cool action guy make cool samurai movie, look pretty, look action.
There's not going to be no depth. This is going to be samurai John Wick.
And I don't think we need to have depth, but I would like some cultural accuracy.
Sorry, yeah, that makes more sense.
And especially in this moment where we're talking about appropriation of Asian cultural pieces and Asian hate. It'd be nice to do something that's actually representing the moment, rather than just being Kurosawa inspired, be Kurosawa accurate.
Do you remember when the Hellboy movie was coming out and the actor who played one of the characters dropped out because he wasn't Asian?
Yeah.
And Daniel Day Kim took over the role, and I always thought that was really cool. And I'm just like, that's the one time that's ever happened in Hollywood. Yeah, that never happened.
That's kind of where this Tsushima project feels for me. Is that, again, as a person who hasn't played the game but is well aware of that being the
major about honor.
Issue that people.
It's about honor. That's what you need to know about the game. It's about honor,
and that pisses people off because it's such a generalized trope. And I hope that the writing of it maybe is something more.
I agree.
It's coming from PlayStation Studios. Sony Pictures.
Yeah, they're really, man, they're making a bunch of movies. Like Uncharted's coming out in then like less than a year.
John Wick Chapter 4 and 5, the next two John Wick films, have lost Derek Kolstad, who has been the writer of all three John Wick films, except on the third one he was a co-writer with a bunch of other people. So he obviously is the co-creator of the series. He apparently, it wasn't his choice. The Legendary didn't ask him back. Lionsgate didn't ask him back because they were like, we can go with these guys instead.
That's maybe, yeah. Like during the making of 3, they were like, oh, we like the half that this guy wrote and not the half that you wrote. So like, let's just get him out. That sucks.
Also, it could be because he's getting so much work now. You know, he's on Falcon Winter Soldier. He could be cost too much.
And
scheduling
could be an issue. Yeah.
Lions. Well, see, I think because it wasn't scheduling, because he didn't say. He said, I wanted to come back."
Oh, okay.
It's he wanted. I think it's probably that Lionsgate. The way he frames it, anyway. The Lionsgate was like, "These guys are cheaper."
Yeah.
And so they were like, "We don't want to do it. We don't want to do it with you anymore."
That's a shame. And that is a Hollywood thing of like, yeah, let's get the cheaper guy. That is.
Yeah. National Treasure. Disney Plus has apparently greenlit the 10-episode series, which is coming from the original film writers of Marion and Cormac Wibberley. We heard about this a while back after we heard the third film was coming, that also this TV series was coming. Different characters, different cast on Disney Plus. It's going to explore the timely issue of identity, community, historical authorship, and patriotism, told from the point of view of Jess Morales, the main character.
I wonder what she's going to steal that's of national importance.
Apparently, it's easy to get the Declaration of Independence, so why not?
We're going to do it again.
They were quick to clarify that the third film is still on its way, though. So
I believe it.
We'll still get Benjamin Gates back.
Ben Gates.
What was the page in the President's Journal?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. It's been way too long. Is that movie on Disney Plus right now?
I don't know. Transformers, though.
Bing pong pong bing pong.
Transformers is getting another film, which is unrelated to the existing Transformers film franchise, and is not related to the 6th film in that franchise coming out a couple years.
This is that writer's room we were talking about.
But is it related to Bumblebee?
No. It's something else.
I don't care.
I mean, neither. Mark Ramirez, who is the showrunner for The Defenders, is penning the script with Angel Manuel Soto, who was just hired to direct Blue Beetle for Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Will direct it.
Crossing streams.
Okay, we're doing another Transformers film.
Sure. I mean, the last one I saw, I did like. So by that account, I do want another.
If you're not connecting to Bumblebee, what do you do?
I don't know. What are they doing? They have a hit that people like. Why isn't there a second one of those already out?
I can't believe that they didn't bank off of Bumblebee. That was crazy.
That's how you know they just don't know what they're doing.
But they still want to do a 6th in the Bayverse. Get out of here.
Yeah, I love Bumblebee. We all love Bumblebee. It's just like I commented on this news where I was just like, I just want a Bumblebee sequel. Is that too much to ask?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah. You started small Bumblebee. You did the groundwork.
I want to see where Optimus and him were going at the end of that movie.
Yeah, you could slowly build it up. Like, you guys have the groundwork. Movies, come on, it can't be that hard to be a movie producer, guys. We do this all every week. Come on.
You have the power.
We have the power.
To be perfectly honest with you, I'm done with the Transformers movies.
No,
I feel like
you're not, because the second you see a cool trailer, you're gonna go see it. Don't even pretend.
That's true.
We're all shills for robots in disguise.
I'll see anything with a good trailer.
It's true.
Speaking of trailers, that's pretty good. That was a great Very quickly, I think I want to talk about Doctor Who, the Ninth Doctor Adventures, Ravagers, which is the first new audio adventure starring Christopher Eccleston returning for the first time as the Ninth Doctor.
Nice.
This is very cool. It's very exciting that he's coming back. This was a very long trailer, and it was kind of weird just watching a bunch of words on the screen for 2 minutes. It's cool. It's
what you gotta do for audio shows.
No, I get it. Like, it's what you do, but like, man, it kept going, and I'm like, man, this is really cool. It needed to only be a minute long.
Yeah. It was nice to hear him like get that energy as the Doctor. He says fantastic.
Yeah,
I was watching the trailer. I'm like, if this doesn't end with him saying it's fantastic, they're not doing it right.
Yeah, for your life.
I was actually thinking about that. I was like, he has to say fantastic in his trailer. If he doesn't, there it is. Okay, we're good.
That's his catchphrase.
It's so nice to hear his energy as the Doctor again.
Yeah. He's actually trying. Yeah.
I forgot how energetic that Doctor was.
Well, and I think the best thing about it is that it sounds like he's having a blast.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's fully back into it, and I'm so happy that kind of arc has come full circle for him, where this is a rewarding experience.
Yeah.
Isn't like the first thing he says in that trailer is like, I'm back. And I was like, oh yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I am back.
All right. Frank of Ireland.
Frank of Ireland.
Yeah, it looks fun.
This looks like a charming dramedy about a guy who needs to grow up a little.
This is the Gleason brothers, Dom Hall and his brother, who looks exactly like his dad.
Oh, is that his? Oh,
and also kind of like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's like, okay, I know one of these actors. Who's that guy? Because is that Ewan McGregor with a red beard on?
That's Brian Gleason, his brother.
That's cool.
Wow. Yeah, that is.
I'm sure they'll get Brendan Gleeson in.
Oh, he'll show up eventually. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. It looks fun.
Ireland's a pretty place.
I had a few good laughs in this trailer. Stowaway.
This looks way better than I thought it was going to.
So you tell me Anna Kendrick in space, and I'm immediately like, but I love space.
What about Toni Collette with her in space?
Oh my god, yes. The second I saw Toni Collette in this movie, and I'm like,
what about Daniel Day Kim as well?
Yeah. The second I saw the whole cast.
Damn it, Sparks, you're gonna take what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
great cast.
Be faster.
I love space movies. I wasn't sure if this was going to be some alien movie. It's just them trying to survive in space. 100% on board. Yeah, I love it. Totally. Looks tense. It's just them trying to survive. Like, it's nothing. It's super dramatic without being dramatic. I love it.
I also love how, it's called Stowaway because when I saw it, I was like, okay, is this about a guy who like actually snuck on the ship? He was just a poor guy working in the one spot. Something happens, he gets knocked out, and then he wakes up. He's in space.
What a Monday, am I right? Oh my god.
He doesn't want to be there. He didn't mean to be there.
Must be Tuesday.
But he is not that kind of guy. It's like, oh, I want to be on this mission. They never chose him. He's like, no, I need to get back home. He's like, yeah, dude, you ain't going home.
Like the Russian chick from Paradox.
And he straight up says, he's like, yo, okay, well, if I'm stuck here, I want to help. I can learn fast. Teach me stuff. And I'm like,
but there's not enough air.
It's like, cool, you may be a stowaway, and you may want to try and help these guys out, but you got to help. You got to survive, and good stuff. I like it.
Sparks.
A space movie that mostly relies on character drama rather than anything else going on tends to usually have weaker casts, and therefore I don't have a lot of faith or interest in them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great cast, and since it's all character stuff, I'm like, cool.
Toni Collette's got an accent.
This will work for me.
Yeah. And it's like next month, right? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll watch this.
Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Netflix. April 30th, I believe.
Record of Ragnarok.
Yo!
Oh yeah, this is the JoJo show. Oh my god! First of all, I gotta mention, we watched this trailer with Megan, and Megan was like not about it. This was not the type of anime she ever wants to watch.
She called it trash.
Yeah, it was like this was like trash, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna disagree with you. It's definitely like a super specific style, but man, it is
look like for real. It is a type of anime trash.
Yeah,
I can acknowledge that.
It's like,
and also enjoy it.
It's like greasy. It's like greasy food, the equivalent. It's like really weird, exaggerated characters.
The boob thing. I'm like,
that is some, ladies and gentlemen, that is some fan service, and I've seen some fan service anime.
When I heard of it, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Gods fighting mortals in a tournament. I like tournaments.
Yeah.
And I watched the trailer. I was like, oh.
See, I'm still in because I know what JoJo is, and I know like how insane and fun that show can be. Like, it is doing everything on purpose. Like it is doing all this weird stuff on purpose. It's like not an accident. And it is absolutely not for everyone. But like, I'm at least watch the first episode because like there's something about the JoJo animation where people just have like the biggest lips and they have like 17 abs, and it's like, this is art.
Shading is cool.
The shading is cool. Yeah.
That's definitely JoJo style art.
Yeah.
Is the shading is cool.
The fights look really cool.
It's also a tournament thing, so you're sold.
I love
right
tournament
away.
arcs. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a tournament show.
Yeah, I
so-
like it's built like people fighting as every episode is my thing.
You got the pervy old man whose eyes are just hearts.
Roshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially Roshi.
Yeah.
And then Eden.
Okay, so we watched the old trailer
By accident. We watched
by accident
and it's-
first, rather than this week's trailer, and the old trailer is better.
Is it?
Much.
this trailer's fine with the black helmeted six-eyed like beast thing, but that first trailer that we accidentally watched, like, oh my god, I want to watch that.
Tells you what the character story is, and I'm like, yo, this character story seems fun.
It looks so good, and like this new trailer is like, it looks cool, but like I really wish you guys would have saw that original.
This is much better 3D animation than
all of it.
than the Ghibli film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? How?
It's like it's not doing the frame missing type of animation. Like it is still like 3D and like, you know, kind of like
It's not
wonky,
doing
but,
what it's not as bad as Polygon's endeavors
Yeah,
with human animation.
It's helped a lot by like only one human figure, so everything else like really blends. But like the world feels lush and
man.
dynamic in a way that like the Ghibli film is the one that stands out to me, where I'm like, they did 3D animation and
Earwig
they
and the
just
Witch.
did not
Yeah.
click.
You guys should really watch the first trailer. It came out 5 months ago, but like it shows you so much more of like the robot community and like all that stuff. And like the show looks really, really cool. I think this trailer disserviced it a little bit compared to the first one.
I still really liked it. I thought it looked really interesting.
Yeah.
The Nevers.
Nevers.
So the new HBO Max.
I like magic.
I definitely want to watch it. It's definitely in this realm where it feels like it could go either way.
It
Yeah.
seems like
This could be good, this could be bad, and I can't tell which one it's going to be.
it seems like there's a lot going on, but at least like it looks really imaginative, like with its special effects and like the use of magic. And like they're called something interesting, like the touched or like the touched, yeah. And then people don't like magic, but like the magic seems really cool. There's one specific shot where like she's standing in like profile and like she's blinking out of like multiple realities or something that was just like really striking. And I'm like,
You can see the future.
Yeah, like you're doing some really cool shit like visually. I just don't know if the story's gonna be there because it seems like it's a lot. But again, I'll watch that first episode.
I think something just happened downstairs. I'm gonna ignore it. Hopefully, them.
Continues to look great.
Yeah.
Are we under the impression that the family that moved in is the one who brings the evil stuff? Because I wasn't sure.
No, they say there's something bad in this house.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it looks again. It might be a little too Jordan Peele, but
There are some shots in there that give me chills to think about.
it is, man. Again, that clown like in the blackface, like it's so scary.
That
dude.
blackface
That
character
eye-
scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, that is like truly haunting shit.
Also, just seeing all the white people outside when they were like, it's like them sitting in with desks, like it's a peanut gallery or something.
Yeah.
Or of course, even creepier, you walking outside, there's a bunch of dolls that are black.
Maybe they've cursed the house, the white people.
Yeah.
Maybe, but there's still, you walk outside, you see a bunch of dolls in your patio being hung. That's not a good sign.
I told Ryan that it definitely has this vibe like it could exist in the same world as Lovecraft Country, so I'm in it. It.
Mm-hmm. All right, In the Earth.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this looks so spooky. Oh my gosh.
What if the happening was scary?
Yeah. So the tweet I saw of somebody who saw this at a film festival was like, "Hey, this movie In the Earth. It's like, what if the happening was actually like really, really good? Like it's like the environment is doing shit to these people and making them go crazy and hallucinate and kill each other. But it's actually good and artsy. Like the ending shot was like really unnerving and how it like cuts. It's just like in the earth.
So it feels like Ari Aster meets Annihilation.
Yeah, like Midsommar. Yeah. This is definitely a horror movie made for me. Ben Wheatley is a very interesting filmmaker. Like he makes like dramas. Like I think this is like the first horror movie he made. I could be 100% wrong.
You called it a modern Blair Witch.
Yeah, it looks like like a modern Blair Witch. Like they get lost in this forest and they discover weird shit. Looks cool.
And finally, the Suicide Squad finally released its first trailer. Boy, this is what I wanted. This is the tone that I've always wanted to see a Suicide Squad. King Shark looks incredible. I love it.
You mean Sylvester Stallone?
Sylvester Stallone, and then what we all knew was coming, Starro.
I'm shocked that they showed it, which means it's probably not as important to the plot as it needs to be, because again, it's all about this character stuff. But like, we saw a big starfish, man. How stupid is that?
This is Starro's live action debut.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
I am so excited for Peter Capaldi's Thinker.
Oh my god, yeah.
I can't. Him just standing there with all the bolts in him and everything. I'm like, I'm so ready for this.
I am so excited for like half this cast to die. I know that's a weird thing to say, but like literally the posters are saying don't get attached. So like all of these big stars, like half of them are getting taken out in really gross ways. James Gunn is so good. We live in a blessed world where people were dumb enough to target James Gunn to get him fired from Marvel. So he went to DC, but then Disney's like, oopsies, and they hired him back. So now we have 2 James Gunn superhero movies coming out in like a year at each other. I'm like, thank you, dumb guy who did that. Thank you.
I just love everything in the trailer so much. All the characters look a lot of fun. King Shark's just like, nom. He's eating the card. So good. I'm excited for Harley Quinn, which is something I didn't think I'd say. I think Margot Robbie looks great.
Even Joel Kinnaman, like the one line he has where he's like, "We came to rescue you," and blah 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 or whatever. And, like he's even funnier in the one line he has.
I love that it feels like James Gunn's gonna carry on some Harley arc stuff from Birds of Prey, which I'm really happy about. She's redesigning her look now that she's post Joker. She's got the red and black going.
Oh yeah.
And we know that she's got on her record taking out Black Mask.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
really
probably excited. That seems like the beginning of the movie. Like they have to go rescue Harley to do this mission, and then she gets out herself. Like what a fun idea. Like Amanda Waller rules. Like I'm so excited because like James Gunn is so good at mixing the drama with the comedy. So like we're gonna get both in this movie.
I just didn't, after watching Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad, like I didn't think I'd hit out of the words, I can't wait to see Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, man. I'm Starro. I just still can't believe it. It's so
I know
dumb.
Starro.
We got a kaiju in here. That's great. I'm gonna make the John Ostrander. Oh, John Ostrander, who wrote the original Suicide Squad run. He is the scientist putting the device into Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
1, he has a cameo. 2, he has writing credit on this movie with James Gunn. James Gunn specifically went out his way to get this man Hollywood paid. Nice. And a lot of these writers from the 70s and 80s have gotten no royalties or jack shit from the Marvel stuff. So James Gunn went out of his way to help this DC writer get like paid the money he should have, and I think that's incredible. Just the best.
Yeah,
I actually really like John Cena in this trailer.
Yeah,
there's those whole beach full of dicks.
John Cena,
I'm
guys.
Very excited for that Peacemaker show now.
Yeah. John Cena slowly over the years has just become a truly great like comedic actor.
Very much so good in Bumblebee.
Yeah. And it's again, that's going to be on HBO Max, but we're going to be lucky enough to be vaccinated and we can go see this in theaters in a couple months. Wow, crazy.
I like Brandon said, I'm so excited for Suicide Squad. When I first heard that DC was doing a Suicide Squad movie in the first place, I was like, really? And then I saw the trailer. Okay, trailer looks rad. Movie sucks. Movie's not good. This one is the complete opposite.
Yeah, except James Gunn. Well, no offense to David Ayer, because he did make good movies before, but James Gunn has never made a bad movie in his entire career. So I'm not worried about the Suicide Squad at all. Like the dude's made nothing but great movies. So like, hell yeah, baby. And it's rated R. We get the best of both worlds.
The thing is, like, I cannot at the moment, because I've seen it so many times, I cannot get over the fact that Starro is in it. He is he's the first villain Justice League ever fought, and the fact that we're gonna go with the smaller Starros like we did in Batman Beyond or some of the comics. We're gonna go with a big starfish kaiju Starro.
Brandon, not to spoil the movie, but the reason a lot of people know that Starro was in this movie, because the first trailer, there's an image in the back of a guy with a tiny starfish on his face.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have the tiny ones too, but normally they just have the tiny ones.
Oh yeah,
That's the collective Starro.
Yeah, I think he's going to be like producing them or do the thing where like many become one.
They have all the character posters, and the Thinkers has Starros, tons of Starros. I wonder if that's I don't know. We can speculate all day. It's cool to be excited for a Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
Shall we get into our main topic?
Not until we talk about Biomutant, the trailer I told you guys to watch.
That's right.
Oh, I don't know why it didn't show up. I thought you put that one in the Sparks.
I did.
No, I did.
No, I know you told us to
I
watch
wrote it
it.
into the document.
Oh, okay. I also wrote it into the document. That's funny.
That's where it's not in here.
Maybe you just didn't refresh it before we started.
Anyway, it's whatever. It's a new open world action RPG. It takes place in post apocalypse. I think it looks really cool. That's all. Yep. What do you think, Ben? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. Looks actually pretty sweet.
Cool.
You got like these like mutated critters that you have to murder.
Yeah, it looks like it's like open world Monster Hunter, but it's you play as like squirrels and shit.
Yeah, you got guns and you got swords. You got a mixture of weaponry.
Fighting giant skunks. I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Does it, Brandon? Does it look fun?
It does look fun.
It
My
looks
look
like
fun. Is it not supposed to look fun?
I'm kidding.
It looks like a smaller scale, colorful, animal-based Journey to the West game that we were looking at. The vibe is similar.
Wukong?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wukong. Yeah, I can see that. All right, now I'm in topic.
Sure.
Yes.
We're here to talk about Invincible, a new Amazon Prime TV series, animated series. The first 3 episodes. We're going to compare those to the first volume, which is the first 4 issues of Invincible.
I don't think we really need to, because how much really happened?
I was surprised at how much of this volume was in the first 3 episodes, all spread out.
So the thing that I found the most interesting, as somebody who's read the most of this comic, they are introducing stuff from so much later on in the first episodes to make it not just because the original Invincible comic, as you guys read, it's a traditional superhero story for the first couple of volumes, and then crazy shit starts happening. The smart thing they did with this show is they start introducing the crazy shit immediately. The finale of episode 1 is one of the most insane things I've ever seen in a show.
Yeah.
I was floored that they went so hard so early. The trailers gave you an indication this was a violent show, but I really think that's one of the most violent things any of us have ever seen in TV. It is so brutal, and that is the show. It's heart and it's gore. It's like The Walking Dead, but it's superheroes.
We'll just start with our impressions of the first 3 episodes. I think Ben, go first since you're about to start.
Yeah, seeing that in the ending finale, I was like, oh. Because during the whole episode, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, Omni-Man's a good guy. I really hope things are okay. But then when we see him just slaughter all the Guardians of the Globe, I'm like, is that really him? Is he being controlled?
You know what? It doesn't come out of left field either, because there are moments where he shows his anger.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's something else going on here. When Mark says I got my powers, he's like, really? I mean, really? Oh, yay. So when he kills the Guardians, I was like, okay, this should have seen this coming.
Yeah, and again, they give you just enough to see it coming, but also you're still surprised.
Yeah.
And I think by doing it in episode 1, doing it so early as opposed to when it actually happens in the comic, it leaves the show's now a mystery, where the original comic is not a mystery. And I think that makes the show infinitely better than the comic, only because this show is now almost 20 years removed from the originator of the comic. That's not fair to compare them, right? Like that. But I think the way that the show is structuring the story of this family, it works so much better than they're doing in the comic. And that's just because, again, it's a different format. It's a mystery show now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be so careful about not being too generic with the show at this point, because we're a superhero steeped culture.
Yeah. And again, the comic, I think it's still a really good comic, but the comic's from 2003. And Brandon, you love Black Hammer. This was Black Hammer before Black Hammer. It was literally, it's retelling different origins of the same stuff. Like Mark and Omni-Man, that's the superhero thing. And you got the Justice League, and you got all this stuff. But it takes it in such a violent way that just when it originally came out, it took people off guard. And I think that's what's exciting about this show is people weren't really sure what it is. And they gave it to you early as opposed to season 2. You know, I'm really fascinated by the structure of it. Robert Kirkman being the showrunner, he's made his own vision even better, I think.
I wonder what's going on with John Hamm's character.
Steve?
Steve, because he's in 2 episodes. Oh man, I love Steve so much. He is the offside character development we slowly get before he probably dies in the finale. Yeah. We're gonna start to love this guy and his kid. He's taking him to London trips.
Yeah, as we're watching the opening, I'm like, this guy's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like 100%, this guy's gonna die.
And then he survives
you're
in
talking
episode
about-
2.
You're talking about the cop with like the stepson, right?
Yeah.
Man, I was hoping to see more of him. I really liked it.
But it's weird. It's weird because he's not essential to the plot at all.
No, he's not. But after hearing that, like the first 5 minutes of the show, where he's talking to his friend and he's like, "Yeah,
It goes on for so long. I
It's
was like,
so
something's gonna
silly.
happen, right?
yeah." He's talking about all this crazy shit. And then he's like, "Yeah, he fought his demons and he beat his demons, and so I'm taking him to London." They're at London, and then he's like, "You see the trash bag that's flying over," and he's like, "Dad!" Pushes him out of the way. He's like, "You called me Dad." I was like,
Dude,
I'm like, part of
They're
me just
like-
want to say, no, screw everything with Mark and Omni-Man. I want to see this relationship pan out. I want to see what happens here.
It's working. What they're doing is working then, because they are giving you this entire other dad TV show in the midst of the superhero TV show. It's almost like a Twin Peaks thing in a real way. Like you're watching another season of a show amidst the season of the show you're watching. It's really funny. He didn't show up in episode 3, unfortunately, but I think they will continue to show up throughout the rest of the season. At least I hope. You can't set it up like that. I care about that family.
I want to watch his stepson walk across the stage. Like walk across the stage for
That's exactly where they're gonna die. 100%. That's where they're gonna die.
Bingo card here.
So just some of the comparisons to the book. It's interesting that he meets the teen team in the second episode. They really drag out the first issue of this book to be in that hour.
They do such interesting things. Like they leave out the main plot of the first volume, which involves the teacher and the bombings and stuff, which I think is really a really great story. And I really hope they bring it into the show somehow, because I really hope they don't skip over it. But again, like all the character stuff between the family, like with Mark and Nolan, all that stuff is sped up but also slowed down. Again, it is so different than the comic. Like it's I love it. It's so cool.
I think my point was that I think I prefer the way he meets the teen team in the show than in the comic.
Oh yeah, like during in a battle or something, right? Yeah.
That he's wholly unprepared for.
Actually, I kind of dig that out. As I read the book and then as I was watching the show, I feel like since the book was so short, it was only 4 issues. I don't say we're doing a disservice because we've done this before, but there's so much in these episodes and there's just so little in the book. Yeah. So I don't want to say we're doing a disservice to it. I don't think we are, but it kind of feels like it because the whole thing with the alien race, them constantly coming back to invade Earth.
It's no different than what we did for Lock and Key. That first volume of Lock and Key is very different than that first season of that show.
You're very right. You're very right. So adaptations
show adaptations always tend to redraft. Very few shows that we watch for these comic things are usually adapted 1 for 1.
Yeah.
And the only one I can really think of in recent memory is actually Deadly Class. Which pretty much was like Rick Remender saying, "I got it right."
Yeah, I didn't need to fix it. It's right.
Don't need to change shit.
Yeah.
That being said, as the episodes went on, like it varied a little, but it still more or less followed its own through line.
The character who gets the biggest improvement from the comic, even though we only read 1 volume, it's throughout the rest of the comic. The mom, Debbie, gets so much more screen time. She is an actual real. Not that she's not a real character in the comic, but she has so less screen time
compared to the first volume. She's much more fully developed in just these.
I mean, the entire comic. Like she is just underutilized compared to.
I don't have that reference.
Yeah. And I immediately can tell that they care more about the mom in this incarnation than the last one.
You don't cast Sandra Oh to have her be a bystander.
Yeah. I love the stuff with her and Mark where she's like, yeah, I guess I'm just like the shitty mom with no powers, right? That's who I am. And like she's like joking about it because she's been married to a superhero for 20 years.
when Mark says "make me," and she's like, "Oh, does that make you feel powerful?"
Yeah, because she's dealt with this before with someone way stronger than him. So if anything, she's like the baddest person in that family, really. She could take on Superman, really.
Speaking of, I think the voice cast is incredible. They're all delivering great performances. Seth Rogen has a fun cameo.
Dude, Alan,
favorite character.
Alan's the best character in this book. I can't wait to meet him again.
That's who Seth Rogen was?
Yeah.
Actually doing a voice. Like, he was good.
And I want to shout out Jillian Jacobs from Community, who plays Britta. She plays Adam Eve. I think she's great.
Oh God, yeah. I didn't put it until just now. Yeah, she is good. Yeah, Stephen Yeun as Mark Grayson, like he's obviously not a teenager, but like he has like the mannerisms and like of being a teenager and being like tripping up, talking to girls. Like he plays it really well. Yeah, no complaints about the voice cast at all. I love it.
Zazie Beetz.
Woo! As Amber,
Yeah.
I think she might be a new character. Again, it's been a long time since I read the comic, but I think she might be a new character, which is cool. Zachary Quinto as Robot. You were like, oh yeah, he does have a real Spock vibes, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, man, because when I was watching it, the only time like the credits would pop up and it only showed the main cast: J.K. Simmons, Stephen Yen, and Sandra Oh. And then and then it would automatically go into the next episode.
You know what's fun about Amazon is that if you pause it during an episode, it tells you who the cast is in that scene.
Because I never. The only time I paused it was it had a rebuffer during a certain scene. It was the first date scene in episode 3.
Every time I did that, I paused it. I was blown away by who was talking. Like Walton Goggins is in this.
Literally, yeah. Who's that character? Who's that character? And Megan's like, just pause it.
Yeah.
And then we did.
I couldn't explain it to Ryan. I'm like, I can't explain this, but he has Lance Henriksen energy.
He does.
Yeah.
I can't explain that, but he does. Also, I'm going to make you guys have this because Megan made me have it. And Donald, the guy who's always with Cecil with the glasses, is Bobby from King of the Hill grown up.
Yep.
Now you can't see it.
I haven't seen King of the Hill.
Oh man,
I haven't really watched King of the Hill, but now I can't.
He grew up, turned into a dad just a little bit.
Can someone answer the question I had? Who does Walton Goggins play? Because I did not place his voice.
Cecil, the bald guy with the scars.
You gotta be shitting me. That's Cecil.
Yeah, that's Walton Goggins.
Yep.
The stuff with the old lady is really great in this episode. In these 3 episodes, I thought that was really well handled.
All
really
the super heroics. I loved all the super heroics.
Yeah,
I did too. Animation's really good, I'll say.
Yeah, so
here and there, I feel like it's weaker in spots. So when the fights are happening, it's good.
That's how I feel too.
That's because when they're talking, sometimes it's very stilted, but the fights look great.
It's very rigid in conversational moments. The eyes look dead half the time.
100%. Omni-Man, I thought it was a character choice. It's not. It's the animation style.
Yeah. The eyes just look dead. I can think of one particular moment. Brandon already brought it up in this episode, which is the part where he's saying, in response to Mark saying he has his powers, you did? Oh, really? You did? And his eyes just don't change emotion at all. He doesn't turn his head to glance at her or anything. It's a placid face. They try to make up for it with a lot of eyebrow movement, but the eyes are so dead most of the time. It's very jarring. The animation style reminds me a lot of the DC works. That's a close comparison. However, when I think of like the Harley Quinn show, I'm like, nobody has dead eyes in that show, and there are so many.
Just what we were seeing with the DC animated movies is that type of animation.
Yeah, but not all of them, and this it is so rigid, and there clearly are moments like the one I think it stood out to you too, which is where he's sitting on the roof with Mark, and they're doing the bit where he's explaining you're going to develop powers, and it is so cutting corners on having to animate more about him sitting there, and they cut back to the same shot in different angles a lot, but it's all just him. Different sizes, I should say, but it's all the same thing, and his face doesn't change, and the eyebrows just do all the motion for him. And I'm like, I wish it was just a notch more, because sometimes they're doing those conversation bits, and I'm like, I can't stop looking at their dead eyes.
I 100% agree. I guess it doesn't bother me too much because one, I think the action when it's happening is pretty good.
I agree,
and it is an hour-long animated show, and that is so much production value behind it. Like, I guess they could have just given it a bigger budget, but I don't think they had it.
This is me understanding that and knowing that, and like I accept it. I still am enjoying the show, but I have to critique it because unfortunately, when I'm seeing it, I can't stop seeing it.
Oh yeah.
I like conversational scenes. I keep going. Look at their dead ass eyes. I can't unsee it.
I agree.
The other thing I would say that's kind of a critique is that just from this first volume of the comic, I thought that the color palette is really dynamic. The art styles match pretty well, but the color range is really vast. The way that they'll use color, especially two-tone panels, in the book is really good.
It's a very bright comic.
But like there's some of the night scenes are just blues and yellows, and they're very striking in that way.
Oh yeah.
And I wish more of the show was doing things like that. I can think of one moment in particular where I went, yes, which is when Omni-Man's in the other dimension.
That's exactly, yes.
And I'm like, I wish there was
So
more
good.
of this. I wish there was more of this in different spots of the show. I don't need the whole show to have it, but like I feel like there should be more spots where we're getting like this beautiful color range that we could do because you're an animated show and the comic does it. So I wish there was more.
Based on the way this show's going compared to the comic, I think we're going to be getting more and more of those cool moments. They just had to establish the baseline before shit gets really wild.
Right.
But I do agree. Like, I think it could add I think it could use more color.
I guess my whole take on both of those things is kind of like it is good that the show presented its twist so early because it's not just in the plot; it's also in the style of the show can easily fall into generic with how they're handling the animation and there are moments where they're stepping away from that and I hope we get to see more of that because there are times where the animation can almost feel a little bland.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I will take a bland eye scene if I get more of the finale of like the worst head explosion of Omni-Man cracking this dude's head. Oh, remember the fish Aquaman and how he's like there's not very many of the Aquafish there, so there's a bunch of regular fish and he's just like a dude living in a fish society. How sad is that? Oh, I'm so bored.
So I wanted to talk about that sequence specifically because I think it's a testament to some really good writing that we get very little with the Guardians of the Globe. They each get like a scene, and by the time we see them die, we feel bad.
Oh yeah,
like they really set them up well to where when they start dying, you're like, no, wait, maybe Mirage will get away. No, wait, maybe someone's got to get away, right?
There's a terrific line where it's Immortal and War Woman, and it's like. And she's like, it's him or us. And Immortal goes, I choose us. And it's like, they know this is the end for them unless they kill Superman. And I'm like,
Red Rush is like punching until his arms break.
That scene is so good.
Part of what also, it is writing. Like, it's nice that we have those character beats, but part of what also makes you want them to get away is how violent it is. It's just horrifying to watch characters, even characters you're not super familiar with, go through that.
I've seen every gross gore movie America has given me over the I've watched it all and nothing shocks me anymore. This truly got to me. Like I was like the Aquaman, like his brain splatters all over the floor and I'm like, this is a cartoon.
The second slam of Darkwing.
Oh my god, Darkwing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was
Darkwing's like Silver Surfer. He's so cool.
Darkwing's death was the one where I was like, oh no.
Oh, it's real now.
Because I thought, oh, it's gonna be a fight. They'll be wounded, but they'll leave, and then Darkwing dies. I was like, oh no.
Oh, and then when I don't remember her name, but the one that catches him right after, and
Green
she's
Ghost.
like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Through the face. Through the face.
Yeah, it's it's one of those fun things where I get to say like this is just the beginning because like I just think of The Walking Dead and how like that's a show that like builds on like character deaths and how like. It's just, this is a comic that does the same thing, but it does it in the opposite way where you're always filled with hope and then bad things happen. And it's like, oh, I'm just so excited. I get to live in the Invincible world again because like it got famous. It got big for a reason, man. And like, I can't wait. It's like they go so far in these 3 episodes compared to the volumes. I'm really curious where the next 3 episodes take us.
The show has some really interesting needle drops.
Yeah. You were asking me questions and
cool.
I refused to answer because I don't want to give you guys any.
I asked you a question.
You asked me 2 questions.
No. I asked you one, and I asked, is he lying about why he came to Earth?
Okay,
that's all I asked.
Okay. Anyway, but you're asking the fact that you're asking questions like that like makes me happy, because like there's a lot going on that I'm glad that they give us a little bit, but not a lot.
Man,
I was lying why he came to Earth.
When he grabs the alien, he's like, dude, this is not your world to conquer, and just destroys that whole planet. It's such a cool sequence.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they make his story to his son less benevolent. They tone it down compared to the first volume. This is one of the moments where the comic and the show can compare really directly. Mm-hmm. They tone down how benevolent he talks about it being because, like, my world was gonna give up on Earth, but I insisted. I saw something in you, so I came here.
It's truncated.
It's a little interesting that they just turned it into all of us do this, and I just volunteered for Earth. That's how it worked.
He's like Invader Zim.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to Earth.
I really like the fight between Invincible, Adam and Eve, and Dr. Seismic.
Oh God!
Yeah.
What a cool.
That's a really cool fight.
You're wearing
No, what?
bracelets.
Some of my favorite use of that kind of power when he's moving himself around.
Like
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
There's a fun bit where Invincible is like, yeah, sorry, I haven't worked on my Quip game yet.
Like
And
my
he's just like,
one-liners.
so they're all bad. Yeah.
No, I even love when Dr. Seismic is fighting Adam Eve. He's like, look at what you're wearing. And she's like, I designed this. And he's like, I thought you were a seismologist. He's like, yes, but also a minor in sociology, women's studies, and African dance.
Yeah.
He like just straight says what he went to school for.
It's Rexplode, right?
Rexplode. Yeah.
There's no universe where he should be on the Guardians team.
That's a bad world.
He's clearly just an antagonistic mess to everyone.
Yeah. I don't care how
but
like gambit
Robot,
you are,
but Robot might not be on the up and up.
man.
Clearly,
Robot.
man, some great moments in this show. Just like when the guard looks at that guy and he's like, "Oh shit, sorry, Pete."
Oh yeah, the Mole brother.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah, man, damn, just trying to do a job.
Again, like those are characters that like they don't show up for a while,
Chicken pot
and I just
pie
love
night.
it. Yeah, and like I love that they like who's the original clone, and it's like it's me because I got out of jail, and it's like obviously it's not because you're dead, and I could just clone another one. Like their dynamics cute. Like all the characters, I think are just like well written enough. From like I just like this whole world. I'm glad to be in it.
The other criticism I have of the show besides the animation is that there are a few moments, I think it largely happens around Mark, where we get these weird pauses. Just like the pace of the conversation lags in a weird way. And I'm like, this could be clipped up. I don't know why we're lagging, especially because these are animated characters. We're not seeing any facial expressions change or anything.
Yeah.
So the pacing of the conversation could clip along a little better.
No, I noticed that too, because there are times where where someone would say something and then like maybe a second or two would pass, then the response would show up. And I can't remember exactly where, but I do remember saying like, oh, that was weird. That didn't sound right.
One that really stood out to me was Mark and Abby. Amber, thank you. Mark and Amber's phone call. Mark has a lot of weird pregnant pauses in there.
Do you think it's a thing where they tried to make him seem like awkward on the phone, but it's just not done well?
So I think that's fine. It's not pauses where it's in the middle of his conversation. It's pauses after he finishes saying something, and then Amber takes too long to respond.
Gotcha.
Or vice versa. Mark takes too long to respond to her.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that just doesn't need to be there. Like, it doesn't make it. We're not watching them think.
Yeah.
You know, it's not live action, so we're not watching them think. This could move quicker. It just feels weird.
I love Cecil being like asshole Coulson. He just like teleports into his room. He's like, "Don't worry, she hasn't flushed yet."
Yeah.
Like, what a confident guy. Like he knows what he has to do to save the world. Yeah.
Ben,
Blood is
did
awesome.
you catch? Did you catch Mark Hamill?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's
That was
the
like the
costume
one
designer.
that was the one voice. I'm like, hey, that's Mark Hamill.
He's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Doing his subtle Joker right there.
Yeah.
Who'd you bring up? The Demon Detective, Hellboy,
Darkblood is freaking awesome.
Dude.
And that was
Clancy
Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
That's the other voice I knew who it was. I'm like, oh, that's Clancy Brown.
Batman and Hellboy, just like it's just I love that guy so much. He's so cool. I love that they're introducing so much stuff in the first. Like it's so good. Like I really wasn't sure how this show was going to go because again, this is a comic that's run for like 20 years. It's so cool that they're giving us all of it at once. I love it.
And because it's so different, the movie can also be incredibly different.
Man, I don't even. What do you even do?
That bit that we talked about where it's Eve taking down the pictures and it's got that needle drop music and I'm like, so this is just an animated CW show.
Oh, it's so.
That's really to get a little more mature.
It was
noted.
So dramatic.
And he's trying to apologize to her by doing the fireworks thing. And
oh yeah. Gambit.
I actually. Okay, because I kind of feel bad because I kind of do like Mark with Adam Eve, but also I really like Mark with Amber as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad that Adam Eve, because she went to go spy, she went to go see Mark, Mark was making out Amber, and she's not vindictive about it. Adam Eve's like, good for you, Mark, and I'm glad that she's not being a jerk about the guy that she's not even with, because that would have been like a weird drama.
Yeah, that would have been CW.
That would have been CW
Truly.
shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would have been CW. So I would have, because when she says good for you, because I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, because she did just break up with Rexplode, but at the same time, oh yeah, man, screw Rexplode, screw that guy.
Yep.
Really, really do not like him.
Yeah, who would Duplicate?
No joke, one of the best names ever for a superhero. Duplicate? Are you kidding me? I love it.
I really like how they changed the alien invasion from the comic book. It's just a couple pages in the comic book. In the show, they adapted to be a really seminal moment for Mark, for Invincible, and I think that's handled very well. And I love the mini arc with the general who turns into like the king, who just becomes this cybernetic thing because he hates Earth so much.
Yeah,
I like that. I think that's all really cool and really well done.
Yeah, it's interesting to lose some of that energy of the dad. I will admit, like, I like the scene where he goes to the other dimension and everything, but losing the energy of him being chummy with his son and keeping that facade, we lose that really great moment where they just portal in behind him and nab him and then they disappear.
Yeah,
which I thought was really great in the comic.
Like the final page of the comic is them having a conversation at dinner, and it's Mark is like, yeah, my teacher was turning kids into bombs and I had to stop that, and then the dad's like, yeah, I spent 8 months in a prison and I liberated it and now I'm here, and mom's like, cool, you guys ready for dessert? And that mom is like she's so used to it, it's just another Tuesday for her. I love it.
Yeah.
I love, like we mentioned it earlier, but I love Sandra Oh in this in the show.
She's tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the book. There's a lot of stuff in the show about the dad training Mark, and I really like that addition compared to the book where we don't get any of it. Yeah.
I think again, having Robert Kirkman, having the guys who made the thing involved in your thing usually works. I just go back to recommender. But having Robert Kirkman have having 18 years, 17 years of experience to like fix or do something different than he did originally. Because he was a kid when he wrote the first comic. I think he's turned it into something better than it was. Like, I think this is a really, really great Invincible.
I agree. Speaking of the comic, I felt like there wasn't a great job done on how seriously they take the threat of the teacher abducting kids and turning them into bombs. Like there's a nonchalant passiveness to it that I just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
In reading the comic story. And I'm glad that that's not an energy that I feel as much in the show.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
They're
like
just kind of like, oh yeah, it's definitely the missing kids who are being turned into bombs. And it's like, yeah.
Omni-Man kills one.
Yeah, I'm not anti like the whole story, but like I didn't feel like the teacher's final pitch landed for me, nor do I feel like their attention to the matter feels like they actually care. Everyone feels kind of blasé about the superhero stuff they have to do, and I'm like, oh, that's fair.
When their classmate died, there was really nothing. It's like, oh well, we didn't stop a bomb. It wasn't like, wow, someone I know just died.
Yeah.
Mark, in comparison, I feel like Mark has a better weight of what's going on scene with the old woman in the show, and like that kind of energy is lacking in the comic. And the weird thing is that it's lacking on all of the characters. So the fact that like none, like I can get a couple of them being kind of removed from it, but that Mark specifically or any of them don't have that kind of energy where they kind of care a little more or it matters a little more, is more present, made the comic a little to me.
Yeah, I definitely think I think Invincible only gets better as it goes on. I do think it starts again. This came out in 2003. So much has changed. Like it's crazy to see how much they've been able to adapt while also changing for the better. The show, I am so glad this show exists and it's as good as it is, and people are loving it, because a lot of people are coming to the comic. And while I don't think the comic is as good as the show, I think the comic it lasted 150 issues and it turns into one of the coolest superhero spectacles ever made in comics. And I'm like, we're gonna get to see that in animated form with no budget. Like, you can just do it. In a year when we're there, I'm so excited because it's good shit.
I don't know if I have anything more to add.
I don't. I really enjoyed these first 3 episodes. I thought there was a lot of good mystery stuff. I love a lot of the characters. Pretty much one of the critiques I have is just there are times where the pausing was a bit of a problem. But I really like how like I knew that Omni-Man was like definitely not on the up and up because the way he said this is not your planet to conquer, I was like, oh shit.
That's the one. That's the nail in the coffin, though. That's the one where it's like, if you haven't gotten it by now,
Yeah, it's like, oh, you are a bad guy.
Listen, it's a complicated world. You don't know motivations for anyone. Maybe the Guardians were bad. Who knows? You gotta find out.
Because in the comic, Omni-Man was like a really chill dad. He was like, yeah, I'm here to help my son. I'm going to help him with his powers. And in the book or in the show, there are times where he's chill, but then there are times where he gets really mad and really angsty. Like when he gets out of the hospital and he tells the secretary, he's like, hey, you go get my costume like right now.
Yeah. That is, again, showing his anger is good. Yeah, man, like the first 3 volumes of this comic are pretty regular, all things considered. Like there is some violence, but like it's the scene at the end of episode 1 that happens in like volume 3 or 4 when you start to realize shit is getting weird. So I can't track the trajectory of where the show's gonna go in comparison to the comic, because like they're introducing things that don't show up until 2 years into that run, and I'm just it's fun to be in this mode of not knowing what's gonna happen, because I know the obvious regular trajectory of the plot, but the minutia of everything around it is so different. My last point is I love tournament arcs. We saw a whole tryout of a bunch of superheroes fighting each other. It's so good. Monster Girl, guys, she's an MVP of this comic. Just, oh God, I love it.
I love Monster Girl's a whole explanation of she gets younger every time she transforms. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that she's like, I'm actually 24, I used to go by Monster Woman. It's like, oh no.
Sad Benjamin Button rules going on here.
So bad for her.
Yeah.
I really like the show. I might continue with the comic, but I'm definitely going to continue with the show.
Hell yeah. Maybe we'll when the season's over, we'll do something, because I would love to talk about it again.
If we had the time, we could do a Fake Nerds Watch, but
I wish I had the time. I agree.
Okay. So is that if that's it? Sparks, do you have anything more to add?
Love it.
All right. So since that's it, that's our book club and our
we need to fill 24 more minutes.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my
Okay.
Anyway, so we're skipping the book club this week. So Ben, next week book club. It's yours. What is it?
Boys, we're going on a hunt. Bloodborne, Volume 1, written by Alex Cott and artist by Piotr Kowalski.
Ben, I can't even tell you how I've been wanting to make that a book club too. Yes.
I
told you were gonna love it, Ryan. I told you.
Right. I'm sorry, Brandon. I didn't know it was gonna be Bloodborne. I can't do that to my baby. I can't.
Yeah. Is this based off the game, or is
this is based off the From Software video game? I did a little digging, and apparently you don't have to play the video game to understand it. The first volume explains the town, and it's only the first 4 issues. As far as I'm pretty, it's the first 4 issues, right, Ryan? Do you know or no?
I haven't read it yet. I'm excited to read it. It was sold. Okay. It was super sold out anytime I tried to get it. So
yeah. I heard the first volume. What I saw is only 4 issues long. So
it's not
quick
enough.
read, but
all right. So,
but it is Bloodborne, Volume 1, The Death of Sleep.
Man, I have seen so many images because both Alice and Peter post on Twitter about like, hey, this is the comic I made a little while ago.
I pronounced their names right.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, you got it right.
All right, cool.
I'm so excited to finally read this book. It is. If you know the imagery of Bloodborne, it's nasty, Lovecraftian, gooey goodness. So stoked.
Yeah, Death of Sleep.
Okay, cool. And also next week we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, a rematch 60 years in the making.
Oh my God. I can't believe it's here.
Yeah, right?
Can you please stop showing me shit in the marketing, please? They don't even care anymore, Brandon.
There was a new trailer. I decided not to put it on this.
Good.
Not doing that.
I've seen TV spots that are named things that are spoilers. That it just pisses me off.
I turn everything off now.
Yeah.
Like the only thing of Godzilla vs. Kong I'm going to allow myself to watch is just the Owl Kitty fake trailers that I sent you guys with the cat.
The only thing of Godzilla vs. Kong that I'm going to watch is the movie.
Hell yeah.
All right. Anyway, cool. That's fun. Can't wait. Screonk.
Dude, we're getting like And like we're getting a Godzilla movie, a Kong movie at the same time, and I mean, like then we're gonna get like a Mortal Kombat movie. Like it just feels April's good. April's good.
And eventually Godzilla Singular Point, so another Godzilla thing.
That's like soon.
It's airing in Japan now.
Oh, we don't?
No, we don't know when it comes stateside.
It's in Japan right now, though. VPN, guys.
I'll be there soon.
This episode is not brought to you by NordVPN.
Sponsor us.
Mag is saying goodnight. Good night, gang. See you all soon. And here's to Godzilla vs. Kong comeback in box office. Yeah.
Mag, I want nothing more than a big monster movie to actually make money in America, but I'm not putting my hopes out.
It's doing very well overseas, though. So
yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank you, God.
I hope we get another MonsterVerse movie.
Absolutely.
I'll hold my breath, though.
Well, we're getting the anime.
Excuse me, Ryan. Thank you, Godzilla.
Godzilla.
That's what he said. He did the thing that...
you missed me. I was Bradley Whitford for a minute.
Oh.
All right. Just going to plug some shit then. We do on the end of every episode. I'm going to plug my new thing first. Conversation. That's the new show on this channel. Well, not this channel, but you get it. The Fake Nerd Family Podcast
Network.
The 2 episodes that are up now are in the link below, and they are of Phil Better of the Invest in Yourself podcast and Stephen White of the Super Mega Crash Bros Turbo podcast. This week, coming out on Thursday, it's going to be a Thursday every week, is Patrick Ora. And I don't have his podcast written down, but you'll know it when it comes out on Thursday. Of course, you can check out our YouTube channel. Check out all the cool stuff we have on our YouTube page. We have other shows such as Fake Nerds Watch, which we're currently going through, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You can check out our back catalog of so many great shows. Basement Arcade, and Basement Arcade Pause Menu, which Ben said that he has recorded a new episode coming soon.
We might, maybe have some Basement Arcade coming soon, maybe. That's why I said that many. That's why I said that many maybes.
Soonish.
Yeah.
Oh, he means us.
Oh.
Because I'm on spring break.
That's what I was. Sorry,
right,
I wasn't referring. Sorry, yeah, I meant maybe actual stuff happening soon.
There was another thing that was supposed to happen, but anyway.
Yeah.
Good. More Basement Arcade.
Yeah.
And Fake Nerd Book Club, which are going through Little Char and the Gang, and of course on its audio is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 1, Volume 2 coming soon. Guys, if you're not getting vaccinated, or even if you are, don't forget I said that first part. If you're getting vaccinated, no matter what, it's a pandemic, get some masks. I don't know what that whole thing was. You can check that. You can check the links below in the description. We have Fake Nerd Podcast Masks, which are still selling, and we will sell until someone says there's no more pandemic. And then maybe after that. You can check out our Patreon, which we have 3 tiers. 4 more days to get that shirt. And we get another one up there.
Pow pow.
Shirts be gone forever. Check that out. Subscribe to that.
3 more days?
What?
3 more days?
I counted April 1st, but I shouldn't have, right?
No.
It's up
I
to
don't
you.
know how counting works. I failed math. I don't know if you know that. 5's after 1, right? You can check out our TeePublic.
Hey, man, I helped you cheat your way through statistics.
Boy, you did.
Hell yeah.
Check out our
Geometry. Geometry. I'm sorry.
That's the one.
I definitely cheated my way through math. It's not even funny.
I only failed one math class my entire career, and now you still hate my score.
That's what's called a humble brag.
Math was my worst subject too.
I have an abacus in my brain.
Look.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna say, I don't think it's cheating to have the formulas next to you as long as you understand how to use them.
Formula.
True. That's what we do.
Ravioli.
So you can check out our TeePublic. We just got a lot of cool shirts up there on our TeePublic. Keep stocking that thing with more shirts, hoping someone buys them. Cool. You can check out our website. I actually put Conversation up on our website. There's a link you can follow there. So all of our links on our website at fakenerdpodcast.com. And all the links are below. Thank you to everyone who listens. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who watches the live stream. Mag, you're wonderful. And thank you to everyone who watches the rewind. Just thank you to everyone who supports us and checks us out. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who does Suburban Proctologist and our theme musics that you've heard today. Even when I fudged it. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards, and you can find Suburban Proctologist on iTunes and all sorts of audio things. Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official and Instagram at SubProcPodcast. Sparks, I hear there's an update soon.
Oh yeah.
Very exciting. Thank you to Mike Matola, who does our logos for Victor Podcast, Miscellaneous, and maybe the next month's shirt. That's it. That's what it is. You're not going to hear me until next month. You can find him at Mike Matola on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Victor Podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm a Victor Podcast. Now I'm a Victor Guys at gmail.com. I'm at BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
Well, you can find me trying to figure out what to put up here on my little dresser for next week at BenMaca27 on Instagram and Twitter. And like I said at the very beginning of the show, I also write for OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com. Newest article about modding your consoles is up on the website right now. So go ahead and check that out because that's awesome.
I voted yes on your modding poll if you should mod consoles.
Also, thanks to everyone speaking of which, that was the one tweet I had where I put up a poll. Over 115 people, I think 120 plus people answered that question. And I was like, damn, that's the most any of my tweets have ever gone out. So whoever answered that poll, thank you so much.
It's as the kids say, went viral.
I guess
Sparks.
it did.
You gotta get another vaccine for that one.
Sparks.
You can find me enjoying my spring break at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
Ryan.
Hold on.
Hey, you can find me at DJ Tony Snark all over the internet, baby. Oh yeah, bing bong applesauce.
How did you do that?
Text to speech, DJ Tony Snark everywhere.
Wow.
I'm glad it worked.
baby.
Did you hear the Bing Bong applesauce too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it.
Just making sure the whole message works.
All right. Fun. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music Podcast, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. And until next time you see us, stay fake nerds. Oh, no. Oh, wow.